All right. I had to go back live again. Sorry. Whatever cut me off. I had to start all over again. The book touched something and cut me off. So hopefully people come over before too long. And I can give me time to yeah. Good. Yeah, give me time to look up some stuff. It's a bummer. I was feeling good. Cut myself off. Cut my feed. So I came back in again. Let's see. Is this now? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's now. Okay, give me time to it's a bummer. I was feeling good. Cut myself off. Cut my feed. Sure did. So I came. All right, so I'm back on. That's good. All right, have to start from here. Sorry, yeah, I cut myself off. The book hit the book hit down, and when the book hit down, it cut everything off. So I got to start all over again. So hope y'all don't mind. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but yeah, yeah, I had to cut right back up to just keep going. I'm kind of hyped tonight. Um, so much going on. Uh, Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm getting married in weeks. Well, November 4th, I'm getting married, and so that's really counting down. All the little details and stuff. So it's exciting. And regardless of how anybody feels, I've always believed in marriage. I've been married. This would be my fourth time. Of course, I told the story before. I've married one woman twice, so only technically the third woman I married, but the fourth time I'm getting married. So um, and that's what I told her going in. I was like, I would rather do this commitment. I'm not really looking to just live with somebody. I'm looking to, try to build something. And I really would rather get married and then just live with someone. And I think that, and it's, and I want to say this, like I have children, three children by European women, and I married one. But this would be, my other wife was, American Indian, melanated, my first wife. So two of my children are melanated, you know. I don't know if, well, all of them really, because they got me in them. So all of them is melanated, but some of them have European mothers. But for me personally, I think marriage is a great thing. I mean, as a child, I saw a lot of beautiful couples. I mean, I remember I did a show years ago where I talked about like power families, like really power families, like families that had 10, 15 children, but everybody was on something. It wasn't, they had all these children was poor. That's what they want to tell you. They got all these poor. No, it was all these children. These people wasn't poor. Now I'm not saying I never, but and I'll say this: I ran into some people that was that you would say was struggling, but all of them had something going on. Plenty of personality, parents together, and dad may have a child here, child there, but the parents for the most part still together. And so that's what I grew up on. Now I come from divorce, no doubt. My mother and father got divorced when I was very young, but she married my stepfather when I was very young. I think they got married. I turned four, just I had three. I was three, maybe just turned four. And he was there until I left. They didn't get divorced until after I left. So he was there from the four until I left. And for me, that was a great thing. For me, that was a great thing. Never too late for love. No, definitely not. Thank you. Thank you, Tribe of Judah. Thank you. And so for me, that was a great thing. Definitely a great thing. And so like it breaks my heart where, my fiance, she says that, her mother didn't support her, never went to see her, participate. And I knew a lot of children like that. I knew, like I told the story, I told this recently where my son went with a girl. She was a senior when he was a sophomore. She had been a cheerleader all 4 years of high school, and her parents only came to see her cheer on parent night her senior year. Yet all she cheered basketball and football and basketball. And so, some people just don't support their children. I Whatever they wanted to get to, I tried to, get to. Had a bread to, get the shoes. I got to go get my daughter another pair of shoes. I bought her like 2 pairs of shoes for new school shoes, and now the tennis, because the other shoes ain't really like tennis shoes to play tennis in. So I got to go get her another pair. Because the last pair, I didn't think it out. I should have bought her a pair of tennis shoes. So for whatever 3 weeks she got left, she's going to have a new pair of shoes. So I got to do that. So, and so and I mean, really the last 6 years, I've only dated a handful of women. Smashing though, but only dated a handful of women. And I'm very happy with this one. And to be able to, allow the freedom to do this whenever, you see the hours, sometimes I keep the hours. Y'all rock with me. Y'all know I'll be up all night. Sometime I'd marathon this shit. I'll go 3 or 4 hours and I don't care who watches it. I just keep going. And so that's great. And support me. Now I've been lazy this week. Didn't play pickleball yet. Might go play in the morning. Definitely going to probably play Saturday. But like I was hitting yesterday and just my knee, like all day going down the stairs, my knee swelled up. I wrapped my arms up, but I didn't wrap my knees up. So haven't worked out like I should. Did some walking around the mall. That's about it. Getting birthday gifts. That's about it. But yeah. Oh, the movie tomorrow. What is the movie called tomorrow? Creator? The Creator? Is that what it's called? I think The Creator comes out tomorrow. Which it reminds me of oh gosh. We talked about this the other day. National not National Velvet. What was the movie where they come out the ship in these round balls, and she, that's how they break into this building. They're in these big spheres. They come out, and it's the chick from where all the zombies and shit. And anyway, where she has the little character, and I talked about this before, where she captures the little character, and the dude is like the one that's going to save the world is in the suitcase, and she opens the suitcase, and the little boy like walks out the suitcase. This movie seems a lot like that movie. If you guys remember that one. I don't understand how people don't support their children. I feel like that's mandatory to do. Exactly. As I told the story, like just the importance of the children in the band. The band don't get much. The band gets to play before, they get to play at halftime, and they're pretty much done. Most high school bands are done. Some, they make them stay around, they get to play or practice again at the end after the game. Some do that, but some leave at halftime. Some bands, they play at halftime, they leave at halftime. Maybe they make them stay. I don't know. It's like our homecoming is tomorrow. And my daughter says she didn't really want to go. So I don't know if we're going to homecoming tomorrow or not. Maybe. We're maybe going to homecoming. So I don't quite know. We'll see if we're going to homecoming. She's like, it's going to be a lot of people there. Everybody in the school's going. Well, that's okay too. That's okay. So we might, but I think I'm just going to the movies tomorrow to see The Creator, I think it's called. To go see The Creator. And then watch the fight on Saturday on all the games. Oh, did y'all hear Kaepernick is supposed to, what did they say? British Columbia. The BC Lions. The British Columbia Lions supposedly are negotiating with Kaepernick to bring Kaepernick up there. We'll see. We'll see if that's true. He's 35 years old. They ain't played. I don't know why he didn't play them other leagues. I mean, if he was serious, he'd have played them other leagues to keep active, to make them reads. You got to have live people coming at you. So, and they're coming into their playoffs. So I don't know if they're going to put him in the playoffs. But yeah, they're coming into their playoffs because it's starting to get cold up there. You know, going into we're late September, going into October. Now, unless this El Nino be helping them too, I doubt it. I doubt it that the El Nino is going to help them. But I don't know if y'all caught that about Kaepernick. It looks like Kaepernick is because it's not that many games. I watch Canadian games. I think they come on tomorrow. Oh, there's my main man right there. PJ Allen.
Got to have vision.
And I know he always controls his.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
Yeah, I mean, one of the videos, like when they killed my other channel, I don't know, it was about 2,000 or 3,000 videos on there because that channel was from 14. But anyway, before they killed it, I did a breakdown, a simple breakdown that anybody could have did. Again, the league is scripted, but there are certain things that you have to fulfill in the script. There are things you have to fulfill, and he could not fulfill them. Now, we see plays they take off on purpose, but we see plays where they need to make plays. And again, it is scripted, but there are times where you still have to make a play. So they have to make it. So he, again, like just hitting a simple out when it looked like the script, he needed to hit it out. Again, with a little pressure, he couldn't consistently get the ball out quick. He was overthinking. He wasn't trusting himself, getting the ball out late. And just like I said, when you had Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson, round 3, Mike Tyson saw the fight was fixed, but he had to fight. And he saw it became clear and clear it wasn't fixed for him to win. But he had to fight. Because some of them fights, he didn't have to fight. A lot of Mike Tyson fights, I showed. And so Kaepernick didn't have the arm strength for one. Didn't have the arm strength to get the ball, to zip the ball out. Just didn't have it. Was hesitant to release. Didn't read the defense quick. These are things that, despite it being scripted, you need to still do without making yourself look too bad. And this is the other thing. Remember, he only kneeled when he was benched. And Marquise Wiley is the only one that would say that he only kneeled after he was benched. Because at first, he tried to sit on the bench. That didn't draw any attention. At first, during the national anthem, like people randomly do, people will sit on the bench. But nobody noticed. Wasn't until after he was benched that he started doing that. And as I said, that year before, they renegotiated his contract, which is unheard of. The year before, when they went to the Super Bowl and lost, they renegotiated his contract. And despite him being benched, he was still making more than the dude who was playing. He was still, I think he was still on his rookie deal, but he was still making more. And the next year when they released him, they still paid him. They still paid him. He got guaranteed money after they released him. It was something like $15 to $20 million. And you can look it up. That's unheard of. For a player release, that's unheard of. That he still got his contract the year after they released him. That's unheard of. No one does that. No one releases you and still pays you. But they still paid him because they had renegotiated his contract right before. So it seemed like all that was put together too. So, dang, where is this shit? Oh, and it's supposed to be, the weather down up here is supposed to be real nice. Oh, here we go. So I don't know if it's still hot in Texas, but it's supposed to be nice up here. Oh man, it's just, man, they don't give brothers a break up here. It is just so funny how they just don't. It's like, who cares? It's like, look at this. This dude, let me give you a perfect example how they just don't give brothers a break. So this dude was released out of jail on accident. Now he is some kind of murderer, but it's like, he was fugitive number one. So I'm gonna let this debauchery go. uh,
In a story we've been following for about 2 weeks now, a Minnesota man accidentally released from an Indiana jail has finally been arrested.
Yeah, authorities caught murder suspect Kevin Mason in South St. Paul yesterday afternoon. And this morning, he's sitting in a Twin Cities jail cell. This is Mason's new mugshot, released about 9 hours ago. Cece's been tracking this case overnight. She's at the jail right now with the latest. Cece?
Good morning. So big things happening here in
yeah. Come on, Cece. You looking like Pam Oliver, baby. You got this Pam Oliver going. Like you didn't get it neat and tight. Come on, baby. You're supposed to look stiff, and this is like haggard. You got the haggard look. You got the Pam Oliver, baby. You got to make it look stiff every day. It should lay there like Farrah Fawcett. Or like, what's her name? Joyner Griffin. I don't mind the top, but your wig, baby. But let's go. And your face look really greasy. They should have, like, again, your lipstick is popping way too much, way too shiny, way too shiny. You got to get better makeup. Okay, let's go.
in downtown. So right now, Mason is being held at the Hennepin County Jail here behind me, and he'll also be facing a judge this afternoon at 1:30. And if you take a look here at what we drew up for you, we drew you up a map here just showing you his journey of getting back to Minnesota. So if you see here, in a span of 2 weeks, Mason traveled nearly 600 miles from Indiana to South St. Paul, where U.S. Marshals arrested him yesterday at an apartment on Summit Avenue. Authorities say they had enough information and surveillance to get a warrant to enter that apartment. And the reason he was wanted is because he's accused of murdering a man at a funeral in Minneapolis back in 2021. He was on the run for 2 years after that, up until earlier this month when he was arrested in Indiana. Now, 2 days later, a clerical error led to him.
This nigga murdered somebody at a funeral. I kind of remember that. This nigga murdered somebody at a funeral. That's some debauchery. Now, if there's ever debauchery, that's debauchery. God damn, he said it's going.
It's going down like this, motherfucker.
God damn, this motherfucker is stoned. How can you be so cold-blooded? God damn, this motherfucker wasn't playing. He said, hey, I know everybody gonna be at the funeral and I'm gonna pop his ass. God damn.
Him being mistakenly released on September 13th. After he was finally caught yesterday, there was a big sigh of relief from many in the community.
One small little mistake let somebody really bad out around perfectly innocent people.
Okay, this is my question. So, this nigga pops a dude at the funeral, which obviously is some kind of revenge, right? In 2 years, he didn't do it again. Let's logically think about this. 2 years, he didn't do it again, right? He didn't do it again. He was living in he got his revenge. He was living in regular society, right? Regular society. So was it worth, now think about it, to go 500 miles? Do you know how much that cost taking him back? If they flew him, if they drove him, the marshals? Do you know how much that cost? It probably cost $10,000 to $15,000 to transport him. And now they're going to house him. Now they're going to house him for the next 30 years at what does it come to be, 50, 60,000 plus to house somebody? Now, I feel sorry for the family of the other person, but is the expense really worth it? He didn't do it again. But I mean, it's like, They act like this is the most dangerous motherfucker in the world. Like a dangerous person goes on a killing spree. He killed one dude that was probably related to revenge. Nigga don't go kill somebody at the funeral, you know, if it ain't revenge. So I'll let him finish.
Now, this morning, we're still working to learn who Mason was staying with as he got back to Minnesota, and then also how he got back to Minnesota amid that huge nationwide manhunt. Guys?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sounds fishy to me. He going down like a motherfucker. You definitely, they's in his ass. They got their foot dead in his ass. You can believe that. It's like, I don't know where he's at though. Hennepin, I don't know if is that the clock? That's all I know. The Hennepin jail is the clock. They put you under the clock. Ray Rice. They had Ray Rice on. Nobody cares about you anymore, Ray Rice. Y'all want to hear what Ray Rice had to say 2 weeks ago? Well, what have you been doing since you beat your wife up and they put you out the NFL? That is motherfucking if there was ever a shame ritual, that was a shame ritual to the max. To be that let's see if they show it when he, you know they're gonna show it when he bopped his wife. They make him look stupid. What you doing now? No, they don't show it. He did win the Super Bowl though. We're gonna do a segment of Ray Rice. What are you doing now? I gotta pee anyway. So Ray Rice, what are you doing now? Let's slow it down. Fair use, motherfuckers. This is some bullshit that nobody cares about, but I'm going to make funny of. Let's go.
And I'm not looking backwards on something that happened. I got punished for something that I did terribly wrong. That's gonna happen in life. That's what's supposed to happen.
What kind of work have you done in the last 10 years in order to come to this place?
I've done intensive counseling. I've had therapists that I continue to work with. When you're healing from something, and I'm talking about childhood now, when you're healing from something, you need to put that pain somewhere. But I was taking care of my household since I was 11 years old. So when they say you live life in reverse, I was a man at 11 and a boy at 21. What do you mean?
So he was like, what was the name of that movie? Benjamin Buttons. This was the Benjamin Buttons nigga. He's Benjamin Buttons. He said he was a man at 11. He was a boy man. Because when I was a boy, I was a man. Remember that boy man or man boy? Why they call you man boy? Because when I was a boy, I was a man. So he said that it was opposite. So he was Benjamin Buttons in mentality. You got money and got stupid. You know, you got money. It was all, it looked like an act to me. It all looked like an act. It was a shame and ritual. But I got to pee, so yeah, we'll let him talk for a few minutes. Fair use, motherfuckers. Nobody gives a fuck about Ray Rice.
When I was 21 and got drafted, I literally went back and overcompensated for everything I did not have from when I was growing up. I was told I was the man of the house, and a man is not supposed to cry, a man is not supposed to, feel. His job is to pay bills and provide and go out there.
Is a man supposed to hit?
No. And that's where it becomes problematic. When you are told things, you grow up in it, you witness things, you see it, and then it becomes you without you even knowing it. I believe there's two types of people, right? As a man, you get to be the man and a man. And you can only be the man for a moment. Over my career, high school, I was the man for that moment of my life, right? But you get to make a conscious choice on being a man for a lifetime.
So So using your analogy, which is a good one, you were the man in that elevator.
Too prideful. The man. Better yet, to put a real word out there, a punk man. And there's other words I can use for myself in that moment.
That moment was lived out publicly over
His girl ain't cute either. His girl ain't cute.
and over.
At least she don't have a weave, though. That's one thing about it. That's her hair. She just had it done. But she ain't cute.
As Ray was let go by the Ravens,
He was let go by the Ravens.
suspended by the NFL,
Suspended by the NFL.
then reinstated.
Then reinstated.
Ray and Janae, who met when they were
Ray and Janae.
15,
Ray and Janae.
married soon after. She said this was the only time that had ever happened between you.
Yes.
And that's the truth.
That's 100% the truth. Like I said, I think that when you mention the world of domestic violence, have we ever had words, a disagreement? Yes. I don't like to use the term the worst thing that ever happened to me was the best thing.
I don't know about that. And like he got the Tommy shirt on. That's a Tommy shirt, understated. So I would have, but I don't. Looks like a T-shirt in there, but it's still stiff enough.
That happened to me because of the severity of domestic violence. There's too many, like
Severity, huh?
the survivors of domestic.
Like they feeding him this stuff. He's everything. I love the way this tastes. Everything they're feeding him this shit.
Violence, they don't want to hear that. And I'm very remorseful to that, and I don't
He's
want
remorseful.
anyone to experience that part of it. But
He's
what
remorseful.
I will say is,
he still looks, fairly good. Don't look like, he saved his bread. He's still with his wife. They probably got a couple of children, and he's obviously doing something else. Remember him and Kareem Hunt got caught threatening their wives like a year apart. Exactly. That is not the basketball player. That's chief administrator police officers at Portland. Woo. It's amazing how these jails make so much money. No wonder why Jordan invests in private ones. Exactly. and it's like this ain't the... My thing is how dangerous was this cat? If this cat stayed under the radar for 2 years, he stayed under the radar for 2 years. And the other fishy thing is, how did he get here? Like he was released and he's going to come to the place where he's wanted? What sense does that make? You get released in Indiana and you come to the place where you wanted, make it easier for them to get you. Now, he could have went to like Mississippi somewhere. No one knew him, found him a job. I mean, he could have went to San Antonio. He could have went to New Orleans. He could have went anywhere. But he comes back to Minnesota. So do you see how the story just doesn't add up? Doesn't add up at all. It doesn't add up. Nobody would do that. And like Ray is a simp. He's a simp. He went out like a sucker. You can't control yourself. Obviously he said they had arguments. Obviously the argument led up to it, or he was told to do it, They said, we'll pay you to, beat your woman. And you can't put this past them. They probably could have told him, like, beat your woman. We know where, you be on film. You go through this humiliation. We'll give you a job. Because people forget. Now, I tell this story probably too much. But one of my guys, I mean, he's really one of my guys, played at Michigan, All-American high school player, played in Michigan. Not a great college player at Michigan, but still played under Bo Schembechler. All right? Another guy owned a store, got caught, 2 ounces. Sold 2 ounces, I think, to the feds. Actually, he told, it must have been state because my guy did state time. Sold 2 ounces, and he's like, look, he said, I can get somebody that'll sell me 4 keys. And sure enough, it was my buddy. My buddy was cool. He was working for, what's it called? What is the Michigan pop called? Oh, shoot, I can't think of what it's called. Faygo. Faygo is cheaper. Coke. Yeah, Coke owns Fago, I think. Even back then, I think Coke owned Fago. But anyway, he worked for Fago, and this dude's store happened to be on his route, so he had it where he was gonna. So he went to his people and then got to Fort Keys, because he knew people. He bring the money back. He was good like that, and he's gonna make 4 keys. He's looking at making quite a bit, and so walked into a trap and dropped 4 keys in the time of where White Boy Rick went right before him, and they was giving you anything over 160 ounces, grams. It was grams, something like 300 grams. Anything over 300 grams, you was going to prison for life. And that's what this cat got. This guy, and he took it on the chin. And the story went that during this trial, they went to his wife and dropped off $250,000 to her. Said, let him take it on the chin. We'll be there for him. And he did 16 years. And they let the first cats out. They kept White Boy Rick in, but they let all the other people out. And he got out, and he was roughing with us. Started working at a factory that one of his teammates owned. He'd be at Michigan all day home games like he got season tickets, which you don't really need when you're ex-player. I mean, he is back in the fold. And so, for not snitching, he's back in the fold. He took it on the chin, and the people knew he was a good guy, and it was a sign of the times. Went down for something of the times. This is what I want to, let me see. Let me look this up. Let me see if I can find this. This is some shit I want to trip off of. Let me look this shit up. Oh yeah, here we go. Right here. And you know me, I don't. Let me see if I can get this in here. I don't talk about a lot of, this might not be good. Let's see. All right here. Okay, this might be what I came across. All right. I don't talk about a whole lot of things that are current events, but this is something that I wanted people to ponder about, and it's the upcoming government shutdown. Now, remember who's going to be affected. It's going to be mostly feds are affected. Government shutdown is nearing this weekend. What does it mean? Who's hit and who's next? The federal government is just days from a shutdown and will disrupt many services, squeeze workers, and roll politics as Republicans, the House fueled by hard right demands, force a confrontation over federal spending, while sub-government entities will be exempt. Social Security, example, will still go out. Other functions will be severely curtailed. Federal agencies will shop all actions deemed not essential, and millions of federal employees, including members of the military, won't receive paychecks. Now, okay, what does that really mean? They just said that the government won't receive paychecks. So does that mean when the government goes to try to get oil, they're going to be denied? Their card is going to be denied? When the jet wants to go for their training, does that mean the jets ain't going to go for the training? Like I used to work on the air base in Battle Creek, Michigan, and the Warhogs would go to St. Augustus every day. I think it was a 45-minute trip, 50-minute trip. They did it like every day. Sometimes they would fly down there and fly back. Sometimes they would fly down there and stay there a couple of days and then fly back. So does that mean they can't do stuff like that? Does that mean in Libya, not Libya, but where is it? In the Middle East where they're fighting, where they got the Department of Defense people, that people ain't gonna get paid? Like all they snitches around the world ain't gonna get paid? Is that what that means too? I mean, what if the military just said, okay, we're holding on to this until you pay us? Is that realistically thought? What if the military, does anybody else think about that? What if the military said, until you pay us, we're keeping all our equipment and we're not taking any orders from you? What safeguards to stop that? They have possession of the equipment. There's no safeguard to stop that. If these people don't get paid, these people rebel. How could they possibly stop from them attacking? I mean, maybe they want that. Because all these armed people around the world and you're not going to pay them. But yet you have the means to still fill up the jets, still supply bullets, still bomb, still give. Didn't they just give a bunch of money to Ukraine? It wasn't it 75 million. They wasn't, and this is what one of my critics says. This is what one of my critics says. She says, well, money is put in certain areas. So in the military budget, it just has to be spent on the military budget. That's the way it was explained to me. If money is put in a certain spot, it has to be spent in that way, which is bullshit. That's bullshit. Just because it's there, you can take it out of there anytime. But what if they revoted? What if someone else attacked us right now and these people ain't getting paid? What if they don't get paid for a year? And they're seeing that they're still eating, they're still being clothed, they still living where they living. They just ain't getting paid no more. They're getting fed and housed, still have jobs, but they ain't getting paid. How long before those people would be sour enough to really want to come back and what if, they always talk about the influences of other countries. What if other countries say, hey, we'll pay you. Bring that shit over here, we'll pay you. So it's a game that's being played. It's a big game that's being played. And it's a psychological game as well. Because what I've just said would never happen. And because think about other countries if this happened, the military would take over. I mean, what do they always show in other countries? The military take over. What is to stop the military from taking over in this country? Whose side? Who the police gonna fight? The police ain't gonna get in their way. And all each state has is the National Guard to repel the feds. And really, they wouldn't even be the feds. They'd be their own entity. Because think about all the contacts you have in the military industrial system. And contacts ain't going away, and they can make black money. They can make money. Just because, they saying they ain't getting paid don't mean that all the legal stuff that they help with, they ain't getting paid. Because we know that there's no heroin that comes in America that's still, they may say that heroin comes into America and they don't get money. That's a lie. The government has been responsible for bringing heroin in since what? Forever. It's never stopped. They've always brought heroin into this country. Cocaine came in late, the 70s really, the 70s, 80s. That it was the big deal before. It's always been heroin. That's what people don't really understand. It's always been heroin since the 1800s. Heroin. And it's for them to say that heroin comes in this country and they don't get their tax, we know that's a lie. They know everything that's going on. So this is interesting because there's nobody to protect the feds. Not really. Look at what the government shuts down on Saturday. The shutdown happened when Congress fails to pass some type of funding legislation that is signed into law by the president. Lawmakers are supposed to pass 12 different spending bills to fund agencies across the government, but the process is time-consuming. They often resort to passing temporary extensions called continuing resolutions or CRs to allow the government to keep operating. When no funding legislation is acted, federal agencies have to stop all non-essential work and will not send paychecks as long as the shutdown lasts. Although employees deemed essential to the public safety, such as air traffic controllers, Ronald Reagan said they couldn't even strike. Law enforcement officers still have to report to work, and other federal employees. Other federal employees are furloughed. Under a 2019 law, those same workers are slated to receive back pay once the funding is resolved. So some of them won't receive back pay. Those same workers are slated. So when you're furloughed, furloughed means you get back pay. Some of these other people are just off. They won't get back pay, it doesn't sound like. Government funding expires the 1st, the start of the federal budget new year. A shutdown will effectively begin at 12 Sunday. It's possible to predict how long the shutdown will last. The Senate Republicans are working different to avert. Millions of federal workers face delayed paychecks when the government shuts down, including many of the roughly 2 million personnel and more than 2 million. 60% of workers are stationed in the Department of Defense. So, most of our federal money right here. You see? 60%. So people won't be working to, tell you to get the bullets to you, and the spies ain't going to work. And that's that. See, nobody believes that. Think about it. You got to pay these spies and you ain't going to pay them. What did one thing Gary Webb, this is one thing Gary Webb brought out that's not talked about. He talked about how for a number of years, especially the cocaine years, the CIA was the one part of the government that didn't have to come in and ask for money. Look that up with Gary Webb. How the CIA didn't have to come in and you can see pictures of J. Edgar Hoover begging for the FBI. And you can see the CIA going in it, and this is all, you can still find this. They're not asking for money. They're not asking for money. They was one of the only branches that wasn't coming in, they didn't have to, they had their own bread. And I said this before, Howard Hughes was, they kept his money. And that's what funded the CIA, because Howard Hughes probably died over Hollywood. More than likely, he died in that plane crash, and they kept a figure. They kept a figure to play Howard Hughes to keep his money. And it's still a Hughes. It's still Hughes out there. There's still a business. It's like some of these other names, like Astor's, and some of these old names went away. There's still Hughes out there. But Howard Hughes worked for the CIA. And look this up. The United States. The United States rejected Howard Hughes' design planes. And you know what Howard Hughes did? He took his planes to Mitsubishi. He took his planes to Japan, and they built the Zeros. Look it up. They built Zeros off of a Howard Hughes design that the U.S. rejected. And they, the Spruce Goose, they just gave him money to do nothing. By the time he finished building it, the war was over, and they took him to legislation, but they just gave him that money. Again, this is shell money. He built a wooden plane, probably fibbered though, type of wood. The strongest wood you can make is fibbered board. I don't know if y'all know that. When Johnson Control, well, it was called American Fibber. This is old Mercedes was made with fibbered board. Now I don't know if they still are, but that's what they used to be made with. If you looked at the inside of the door, it started with fibbered board. Everything was connected to the fibbered board. And even though, there was it was interesting that when I worked for Bentler, we made a piece that was like a safety piece about this big. So it was in every door, both doors, the trucks and the cars. Maybe the only company that was doing this. So check this out. So it says, while the military active duty troops reserves would continue to work, more than half of the Department of Defense civil workforce, which was roughly 440,000, again, the numbers, will be furloughed. Across federal agency, workers are stationed in 50 states will have direct interaction with taxpayers from transportation, new upgrade. Secretary said new training for traffic controllers will be halted. Another 1,000 controllers in the midst of training will be furloughed. Also, if you're training, you're not going to have a job for a while. Even the shutdown lasts a few days will mean the department won't hit its hiring staff shortages. Imagine the pressure the controllers under every day they take work. Beyond federal worker shutdowns could have far-reaching effects on government services. People applying for government service like clinical trials, firearm permits, and passports could be delayed. Some federal offices will have to close to face shortened hours during the shutdown. Business closely connected to federal government, such as federal contractors or tourist services around national parks, could see disruptions and turn downs. The travel sector could lose 140 in a day. Lawmakers also warn that shutdown could rattle financial markets. Goodman and Sachs estimate that shutdown would reduce economic growth by 2% every week. because of confidence in the government fulfill its basic duties. Far well function. The federal judiciary would also operate normally for at least 2 weeks. So the judges, Supreme Court judges, still would operate for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. Even a longer shutdown, entire judiciary, they would shut down. Wow. Now think about this. In Egypt, they're trying to, to get rid of the federal judges. They're trying to, they changed the law to get rid of their judges. But here, they just, the government shut down, so they don't have jobs anymore. And that's some shit right here. Longer shutdown, the entire judiciary would shut down. So there would be no federal judges. What activities would continue made by each passing country? Notably, the funding of 3 consuls appointed by the Attorney General would not be affected. Paid through permanent, indefinite. See, that's bullshit right here. Garland, funding for 3 special counsels. Why? Why is that more important? Why are the 3 special counsels that important? Cases against Donald Trump will not be interrupted. See, that's why are those so important? Prior to 80s, lapse in government funding did not result the government shutting, but U.S. Attorney, series of opinions in 80 and 90 argued the government agencies could not legally operate during the funding gap. Wow. Officials since operate understanding that they can make assumptions. Been 22 funding gaps, but most shutdowns. The longest government shutdown happened in 18. At 19, when President Trump and Congress Democrats entered a standoff, 35 days. Wow. Through the holiday season. But only was a partial shutdown because Congress had passed some appropriations. It's responsibility. So, yeah. But like, what would stop the government, the military? What would make them still want to, be CIA and consider its own private entity? Yeah. That's my point. Yeah, the CIA has been a private entity. Honestly, I think FEMA would be our police force here in America in a couple years. That's a possibility. But yeah, that's my point about the CIA. They've been a private entity, and they got an army too. People, again, the Department of Defense got an army that's separate from the army. Yeah, if you understand. I'm trying to think the little country that they was fighting in. It's like the Department of Defense guys fighting the CIA guys. Come on, what makes sense? How makes sense out of that? Makes sense why our taxpayers would be bumping heads like that, being wasted like that. That makes no sense. So that's why a lot of this doesn't make sense. And it's like how is the special counsel more important? How is it just funded that you can just go after people? It just doesn't. Come on, it's a joke. The military ain't going nowhere. It's a joke. It is a joke. And it's, it's the thing where it's real and fake. Oh, yeah, I wanted to show this. This is sad. It's rough, but it's sad. So, Oh, this is some debauchery I just found. This is some debauchery. Oh, my goodness. Oh, look at this. This is Obama and Michelle. You ever see 2 more fake looking people? I mean, the sister's not that bad, but there's some big old hands, and that's a long, lean face, and those jaws. I don't know. But his brother, this is some Bootsy fade spray in. This is sprayed in, and this is added. And, this is painted in. This is painted in there. That's painted. Wow, shoulder to elbow. But okay, let's hear what they got to say though. Whoops. Here we go. This is debauchery.
Just this morning.
And now a mother of a teen who is stealing these cars is speaking out, asking for help. 10 TV's Carly Dion spoke with her today and joins us live with more on why she's frustrated. Carly.
Andrew, Yolanda, Tiffany Hammonds says her 17-year-old son recently started.
I don't know. She kind of looks sloppy too. The hair is wispy. Maybe it's windy, but I don't know. She's kind of sloppy and greasy looking. Her hair looks, I don't know. Maybe they got her hair too dry and it's a lot of hairspray the way it's I don't know. This is not a good job for TV. But I'll say, you know, her face isn't really shiny and shit. So they did a better job. But I'm sorry.
Down a bad path, and she's done all she could to try to stop it. Now she's wondering what more could be done if police keep releasing her son from custody.
I've been begging and pleading. Please arrest him.
Okay. Could she be the problem? Because obviously social economics is going here. I mean, they living in these could be subsidized. We don't know. I mean, these cars could be where, you know, they're looking like subsidized housing cars. So this isn't a very affluent area. I mean, look at the colors. These is like almost military drab colors. Just look at the colors. Little green here, but just look. Look at this drab military looking stuff, you know? Look at even the rock. Like, that's why, you know, I try to say where I live, it's this stuff, like this shit right here. This is, you could, let me see if I can. I don't even know if I can show you the fleck, but that's all crystallized. That's all quartz on this edge. And I don't know if it can show good enough. Where's this other piece? Now the light ain't good enough on me. But like this little piece right here is crystals. It's a crystal in this pink granite. This is outside of my door. So, you know, if you say like there's a, when they find something that is spiritually strong, they put it all around themselves. This stuff, there's crystals in both of these little rocks that I got outside my door. There's crystals in both of them. This is pink granite, which is one of the highest resident stones there is. This is everywhere down here. Okay. And the colors are so different. And again, you know, even our apartments, the colors are so different. And so what I'm saying is the colors all around them is depressing, and not to give it, there's no abundance look of this just in the coloring. The coloring is militaristic, which is depression. I mean, look at this. There's no fill stones. Just look at this. You know, this is the only thing that looks like they took care of, but look at the rest of it. You know, the screen is bust out here, you know. I mean, just look at the colors all around what you're looking at. You're looking at drab, you're looking at depressed. And, you know, she's, you know, this is what, you know, I'll say this, she made herself up for this, but this is the problem too. And again, where's the man? The man ain't demanding it. There ain't no man here demanding that his son go to jail. Where's the man at? Now, she's got a shirt. Well, it looks like an old person died on her shirt, so that ain't the man. That's an old person. So, you know, is she the problem? But let her tell her story. Let's go.
Lock him up. Do something that's going to make him pay for the things that he's out here doing.
Tiffany Hammonds says her 17-year-old son has been caught stealing cars multiple times by police, and he's driving without a license. She feels not enough is being done to stop him.
I've done almost everything I could, and it's turning him against me. He's going the opposite way and doing what he wants to do, and which is turning to the streets.
Hammond says when her son has been caught by police for stealing or crashing a stolen vehicle, they keep bringing him home.
I think him seeing that nothing is being done is giving him more of an adrenaline rush to go back out and do it again.
Between January and August of this year, more than 7,000 cars have been stolen in the city of Columbus. A little more than half of them have been Kias and Hyundais. Hammond says she fears the threat.
And let me say here, far as I know, they can't get insured in this state. You cannot get insured in this state with a Kia or a Hyundai, far as I know. Now, they could have changed it, but I know that it was at one time you could not get one of those cars insured here. So many were being stolen. And I take it this is Columbus, Ohio.
Threat her son poses to others and himself.
Since he's left that I know of, he's crashed 5 cars. And I reported each and every one that I know of. And he's still out here.
It's not known if her son was part of the group who stole a Kia and Hyundai found at Crum Park. The Hyundai had been set on fire while the Kia was left in the pond. About 4 hours later, officers say after a 911 call, they found a group of teens.
This is funny. This is funny. Damn, that's just disrespect. Fuck you and your car. I'm gonna throw the motor into the water. Fuck you and your car. Ran out of gas right here. That is so funny. That is really funny. But even their mamas is against them.
Later, officers say after a 911 call, they found a group of teens inside a car near the 700 block of Thurman Avenue. The driver then rammed into a Columbus police cruiser multiple times, causing damage to the front bumper before leaving the scene. As the city calls on parents to watch their kids, what happens when they've done all they could? This mother hopes something is done soon.
We're trying. But once they're here and they leave again, then what? What are we supposed to do?
What are we supposed to do? Well, lock up our children. That's what we're supposed to do. Lock up your motherfucking children. What am I supposed to do? Wow. Gotta be at work in 5 hours. Thank you for joining, and I'll check out, to catch up on all your work for sure. Because there's never one solution. It's like you listen to all the solutions and then, you stir the pot. You stir the pot, and at least you can say that you were open to hearing other things. And I am. I'm open to hearing other things. I know what I've experienced, but I'm still open to hearing other things. And I like when people do their thing, and that doesn't bother them that they do their thing, and it doesn't bother them that I do my thing, and I like that. I appreciate that. And so I say, look at everybody's stuff. Look at everybody's stuff, and you make your own opinion. That's the only way you can make an opinion, is looking at different kind of things. And of course, we each have our own thing that we like. It's like some people may come to see me just break down sports, which is fine. That's one aspect of what I talk about. The bigger aspect I talk about is just being a good person and spirituality, and how spirituality, I think, can help you be a good person. And this is another thing, and like one of the young men that come on here all the time, it's like it doesn't pay. Like, I'm the one that came up with saying that, the boule is winning. They've been winning. Like, all my teammates that are boule, they're winning. No doubt. And so, you get back and look at the shaming they had to go through, pledging and all, all that kind of thing, but being studious. I see where that is a road that you have to take. And I don't necessarily think all them brothers really, like all of them, sold their souls for their success. Because these ain't famous people. I mean, they used what was there in front of them that they thought was a vehicle that they saw that had success, and they joined it, and they had success from it. I watched some of them take the boule route. I watched another one that he stayed on the outside. He was like, he looked at the boule, but he was able to stay outside and still do his thing. So I look at him and like, okay, you saw the boule, but you wasn't, but I saw others that needed that thing. And it's funny, like you see the boule cats do the hand signs like the gangs. They all Masonic signs. Oh, did y'all see? Oh, I want to talk about, let me see if I can find this. I wonder if this is, I want to talk, let me see if this is up. I'm a no spelling motherfucker. See if this will bring anything else up. Let's see if this is out yet. Ah, yeah, it is. It's up. Yeah.
We out here in the D, man.
Okay. Did y'all catch this part though? I don't know if y'all caught this part of this. Okay, I ain't gonna play none of it, but I'm gonna show some shit. Ah, they cut it. They cut it. Yeah, they cut it. Ooh, they cut it. Because it didn't start like this. But let me. Okay. Check this out. Did anybody else check this out? Marshawn Lynch with the helmet, with wearing the Mason colors. Now, yeah, this is it. Like Barry Sanders ain't with the bullshit. Barry Sanders, I mean, he's a quiet guy, but he's not really with the bullshit. Now, again, to get in this position, to get a statue, you do have to, you give up you definitely give up that energy source. But he's not blatant about it. This cat is blatant, that he's sold his energy source. And so when they sat together, this is a no nonsense person that has accepted his fate and he ain't got to show it off. He is with a lot of bullshit. Again, he's showing his allegiance just, right here. This shows his allegiance to the beast right here. He's wearing that hat because he's with the beast. And just look at how Barry's looking at him. Like they have really nothing to talk about. I don't know if y'all caught this. He's like, I'm gonna show highlights. Cause they was like Barry's not with the bull. I mean, he is not with the obvious bullshit. He's not really, he played his role. He's cool with Detroit. He knows what his fate is, but he's not with the bullshit. And just look at how he's looking at him. Like, like it's a clown. Like we really got nothing to talk about. And it was like at the beginning when they was talking, but look at him, Like he didn't talk. Remember, he didn't talk to the media. And now he's all over the media. What happened there? I'm only here because I won't get fined. How do you change? It's almost like he got rewarded. Now, let me say this. When Dwayne Thomas, who the year before won a Super Bowl, remember when Dwayne Thomas and they beat Miami in the Super Bowl? And the next year he came in and said, I want more bread. And they ain't giving more bread, so he quit talking to the reporters. They ruined him. He was all pro. They won the Super Bowl. Next year he didn't talk to reporters. They ruined him. And it was funny. After being broken, he went to the Redskins. He couldn't wait to be in front of a microphone. You could just tell he was bug broken. But just look at Barry, Look at the look he has for this dude. Just look at that look. Like this dude is just a clown. It's summertime and shit, and this nigga's dressed like this. And again, we know what that hat means. We know what it means. And you with the bullshit. A dude that I'm not talking. So that was a role. That was a role. That was a whole act. That was nothing but an act. So glad I was able to catch it and show and let him talk and shit. All the act. All the act. So it is all an act. New development. It was another story. Let me see. It was kind of sad. Let's see. Let's see. It was, this cat, man, it's, to be taken. Yeah, it's right in here, I think. And I don't know if this is for the Vikings or not. Where is it at? Not here. It's got to be. They didn't take this down. Oh, maybe it's in the other one. Where is the other? Okay, this probably had it. didn't think so. I thought it was the other. Let's see. They don't talk about it. Ah, here it is. Yeah, they do talk about it. No, I don't, okay, I just figured this out. This is for the twins. This is for the twins. Okay, I just figured this out. This is for the twins. Check this out. This is a sacrifice for the twins. Check it out. This is a sacrifice for the twins. It's Fox sports writer battling ACS, suffers brain injury, not expected to live. This is a sacrifice. Now he has ALS, but all of a sudden he had a stroke, and the stroke, well, I'll let them tell it.
The hockey world rallying around one of their own whose public battle with illness has reached tens of thousands of people. The Calgary Flames sharing the news that assistant GM Chris Snow has suffered a brain injury and is not expected to recover.
Snow, a former Minnesota sports writer and former exec for the Wild, has publicly battled ALS now for 4 years.
Fox 9's Rose Schmidt telling us about his impact on the sports community and his family's advocacy work.
In the early 2000s, Chris Snow was a recognized name in Minnesota's hockey community. First as a Wild beat writer for the Star Tribune, who was so knowledgeable about the sport, he was hired by the team as director of hockey operations. He went on to the Calgary Flames, becoming assistant GM in 2019. That same year, he was diagnosed with ALS. His wife, Kelsey, shared this heartbreaking update on Twitter Wednesday that Chris became unresponsive and went into cardiac arrest, writing, "Doctors do not expect him to wake up from this. My chest feels cracked open and hollowed out." She says Chris was initially given 6 to 12 months to live, but instead it's been more than 4 years.
The 6 to 12 months is a pretty quick prognosis, but unfortunately, the average prognosis is still pretty alarming at 2 to 5 years.
Marianne Kewen with Minnesota's chapter of the ALS Association says the more people can bring attention to this progressive neurodegenerative disease, the more fundraising and research there will be.
We've known about this disease since the late 1800s, which is unbelievable to me that we really only have 4 or 5 treatments available up till this point.
The Snow family credits clinical trials involving tofersen as the reason they got more time together. The drug just got FDA.
Wow, that is a commercial. That is a commercial.
Approval this year. Kewen says it's the first gene-based therapy for ALS, where doctors can identify a specific gene that is malfunctioning in a person's body.
We have more research trials going on right now and clinical trials going on right now than we have in.
I thought they were supposed to be talking about dude, and they're talking about the medicine.
Many years past. It's, I feel like the momentum has been building, especially since 2014 with the Ice Bucket Challenge.
The Flames also thanking Chris Wednesday for the impact he's had.
Yeah, this is a sacrifice for the Twins. So the Twins might do big things. That's definitely a sacrifice for the Twins. I'm glad I was able to put that together. That's a sacrifice for the Twins, y'all. That is an absolute sacrifice for the Twins. So, damn. They say this happened last week. I didn't hear about this.
Fox 5's.
I ain't heard about this. So they was playing Big Bank Takes Little Bank. This is debauchery like a motherfucker. This is where, what they say, you see the niggas on TV, it's the channel. You see them on TV, you know who the audience is. This is 3 dead in shootout over who got more money. Y'all. The name of this story is 3 dead in shootout over who got more money. What are we doing? That definitely gets this lie. I know it's a sad story, people got killed, but why report this? But okay, let's the debauchery begins. Baltimore had a sacrifice too. Okay. Yeah, okay. Baltimore had a sacrifice. I'm gonna look that one up. We'll play this one and then look up Baltimore sacrifice. Because that's how it works. Here we go. Let them tell it. The debauchery. Here we go.
Even begin to process just what happened.
I fell out because
This is not what you want to see.
For Westside resident.
Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. Let's look at this. I don't know. I don't like the cut of the pants. They're way. I don't know. I would have had maybe slightly longer. I don't know. They're really straight leg, and I don't know if I really want straight leg. I want more athletic than straight. So that's, I don't know if I'm digging that. This is, I don't know, the way the shirt is arching out. I don't know. And it's looking like, this is a little young. That top button is screaming. That top button is kind of screaming a little bit. So just the cut here, is, I don't know. This is last year's suit, but okay. I'm sorry. Let them tell the story.
I fell out because this is not what you want to see.
For Westside resident Kiwi Ashmead, the sight of this crime scene on Evans Street Saturday was dramatic.
Supposed to go on a family vacation next week, and now we're not going with my nephew. Instead, we have to bury up my nephew.
She identified her nephew, 20-year-old Jacoby Maddox, as one of the 3 people Atlanta police detectives say were shot and killed when an argument escalated to gunfire just after 1 p.m. Maddox was a father to a 1-year-old boy.
He was a tall, gentle giant, very respectable. Unfortunately, the streets got a hold of him.
So wait a minute. This nigga got shot in the middle of the afternoon over who got more money. Now, they didn't say nothing about getting robbed or nothing, but okay, let them tell it.
As a longtime resident, this woman, who identified herself as TT but did not want her face shown, says she's seen just how dangerous the streets can be. She says she was there in the moments leading up to the shooting.
2 guys arguing over who got money and who pistol is the biggest. I say it's very concerning about what's going on now. It's getting very outrageous over here now with the senseless killing, senseless shooting.
Resident Monique Burston echoed those concerns, telling Fox 5 she lost her own daughter.
Okay, so okay, let's back that up. She said, let her tell it again.
I say it's very concerning about what's going on now. It's getting very arguing over who got money and who pistol is the biggest.
Who got money and whose pistol is the biggest? It sounds like they was comparing dicks, don't it? Don't it sound like they was comparing dicks? These is some slow-ass motherfuckers comparing dicks. They are comparing dicks. That's all they doing. They sitting there outside like, my dick's bigger than yours. No, my dick's bigger than yours. I mean, break it down. What else could that be? And then you kill each other over that? Really? They came out to the world, knowing that they was gonna have to kill somebody because to show the point that I was disrespected because I got a better gun than you or you got more money than me. I mean, your feelings got hurt because he had more money and you pulled your gun out first, or did they had the guns out pointed at each other? I mean, is that what the world has come to? Comparing dicks caused the argument. That's right. Comparing dicks caused arguments. Yeah. Homo hugs. Exactly. That's bumping dicks. That's what they was doing. They was bumping dicks. That is the lowest ego that you could ever be. And is that what the youth is that what the youth are today? Is that what the youth are? I mean, is that what we have? Is that all that's good in you? And I don't even know if that's the right word. Is it like it's nothing else but what someone thinks of you at the moment? Is that all that some cats have going? It's like what somebody says about you at the moment. And how do we have cats that can't take having people talk shit about you? I mean, everywhere you go in the world, you'll find somebody that's got more money than you. You may go around the block or on the block. But is that what the world is? Is your rep about who has more money? That's how they wanted to go out. That's how they wanted their energy source to be taken away over something so meaningless. And then, as that bullet is killing you and you taking your last breaths and you really don't even know what's going on. Not in the whole scheme of things. That's instant reincarnation. Because that's the kind they like to trap that didn't even know and learn nothing at all. See, that's the reincarnation trap. You come and don't learn nothing. You ain't, because it's people come back on purpose and remember everything. But most don't. Now, there's many of us that don't have to, well, I don't think I've reincarnated. I was something else. I was something else. So I don't think it was reincarnated. It was something else. But not being able to take that memory through and not learn nothing. Like the lady's talking about, the young man just keeps stealing cars. It's New Jersey Drive all over again. And I've told you over and over again, the YBI story, what's fucked up about it is YBI actually started carjacking. And it wasn't about taking the cars and riding around with them. It was about taking them to chop shops and getting the cars cut up. And that they don't tell that story. Isn't that funny? They don't tell that story. They want the dope story, but that's another part of YBI. They started carjacking. Dudes was taking them cars around, you steal a car that's worth $1,000 back, in the early 80s. You get that car chopped up, you might make $7,000-8,000 for a car worth $1,000 or less. Because the parts is worth more in parts. That was a big thing. And they don't show that story in New Jersey Drive. They show what we see today. Niggas joyriding. And that ain't how carjacking started. It started to take the cars to make money off the cars. I mean, why do you think it's VINs on everything? Used to be, VINs was only on the top of the car, maybe the motor. That was it. Wasn't even on the plastic parts. VINs wasn't even on the plastic parts. VINs wasn't everywhere. So that's why they put VINs on everything now. But that's how it started. It started in stealing cars, getting them cut up and making money. And now it's about, the Hyundais is easy to steal. And the government helped with that. We know that. They help put that technology on how to steal these cars. Same way the government helps on how to take all these Challengers and these demons, how to take them. They put it out there. And they know who buys this stuff. I mean, if they really want to stop this stuff, they could stop it. But they help putting it out there. Like I said, I've said this before. It's like cloning phones. Cloning phones, they put that out there. The same way, Master P and them did the movie about the chips in the phones. Well, we clone phones. And it was legal to clone your own phone. You could look on YouTube, find out how to get, you tell you what parts to get, build it, and be able to clone phones. You'd be able to sit places, sweep numbers out the air. And some of them numbers work forever. I had a phone, I think one time the number worked for almost a year before they cut it off. And that's why that's what made phones cheaper. That's really what made phones cheaper was clone phones and the chips. J.R. Ryder when he got busted with chip phones. That's what they was doing from the West, but we was cloning phones. So, shit, I found out 2 cousins shot each other over who was selling the most dope. Damn, they went bad. Okay, wait, what did you put? You said Baltimore. Baltimore. Yeah, shit, Baltimore. Let me see where was it? American East. Yeah, they 3 playing. Yep, big bank definitely take little bank. Yeah, Baltimore just had a sacrifice. Okay, Baltimore shootings. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see, recent. See what comes up. Oh, the dude, oh, yeah, right. The dude who killed the CEO. That's right. Yep.
This morning, a massive manhunt.
Yep. You are right. This is absolutely it. This is for Baltimore. That's absolutely right. This is a sacrifice for Baltimore, the CEO. I agree.
Baltimore, police searching for this man, 32-year-old Jason Billingsley.
We know he probably is armed and dangerous.
Authorities believe he murdered 26-year-old tech CEO Pavel Lapierre, who was found dead in an apartment building with signs of blunt force trauma.
Okay. How did he get in this place? Let me see. We got the 3, 6. That's the 9. So, we see it here. Look at this. 6, 6, 6. See that in the shot? 6. You're cornered in it. 6, 6, 6. See that? How they get that in there? So this is definitely a sacrifice. You see the numbers. We've got the pillars. This screams sacrifice. Look at these pillars. This is all. Again, we've got 6. And back here is 6. And you got 6 there. You got the pillar here. You got the pillar there. Yeah. Close to the circle. With the star inside. It's kind of close to it. But I mean, all this screams sacrifice.
Investigators do not believe Lapierre knew her killer and offered this chilling warning to residents in the area.
Okay, again, how did he get in here? This is pretty secure. If this is the crib where she lives, this is pretty secure. How was he able to sneak in here and kill her? You tell me that. How was he able to get in here? Just looking at this. Without some kind of help, this is more than likely cameraed. More than likely recorded who's coming in and out. How did he get in to kill her? So.
To residents in the area.
This individual will kill and he will rape. He will do anything he can.
So, okay, now they're saying that did she get raped? Did she get killed and raped? But again, how did she get in there? How did she get in? How did he get in there to do anything?
And to cause harm. So please be aware of your surroundings.
Billingsley has a lengthy rap sheet, including a sex offense and assault convictions, according to officials, who say he was released from jail last fall, fueling frustrations from the mayor.
We are tired of talking about the same people committing the same kind of crimes over and over.
Okay, so yeah, this is definitely a sacrifice for Baltimore. Wow, thank you, PJ, for that. Yeah, well, I mean, we're not surprised. Not surprised. And they caught him somewhere here. They caught this nigga. Yeah, right here, they caught him.
This morning.
Yeah, they caught him. Of course, they catch him quick.
The U.S. 3-day manhunt, authorities confirming the arrest of Jason Billingsley, suspected in the killing of tech CEO Pavel Lapierre. The U.S. Marshals telling NBC affiliate WBAL Billingsley was captured in connection to the murder at a train station in Bowie, Maryland.
Our Special Investigation Section and Homicide Unit have been working aggressively to identify the suspect.
Boy, that's a bad wig he has on. Look at that wig. I know when I see wigs, that is a wig. That is definitely a wig. But let's go.
Responsible for this tragic incident.
Lapierre was found dead of apparent blunt force injuries Monday in the apartment building where friends say she lived and worked, sparking a massive manhunt for her killer. The mother of the suspect telling NBC News in a telephone interview she had texted with her son. I told him to turn himself in because they're going to kill him. Also saying that her son showed her a gun Monday, but she believes he's trying to sell it. Authorities not revealing any connection between the 26-year-old rising star entrepreneur and the suspect, but say Billingsley has a lengthy rap sheet, including sex offenses.
Okay, it's the same old bullshit. But they caught the nigga. But they caught him. Yeah, CEO living in an apartment, working in an apartment. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, if there's work there, there's comings and goings, maybe. But again, how did he get near her? So, yeah, that was definitely a sacrifice.
This morning, a massive manhunt in Baltimore.
Definitely a sacrifice. They don't play. Wow. And they even got one. Yeah, it's, yeah, they wanted him bad, but it screams sacrifice. Oh, this is 6 months ago. Damn, this is debauchery. Wow. This is an old story, but damn, this is like debauchery at, you know, this is 6 months ago. But this is like, wow. This is like, wow. This is debauchery, really debauchery, guys. Oh my goodness. This is just funny. Not funny, but like you wouldn't even believe it.
Police are looking for the shooter who killed a pregnant woman and then left her body in the middle of the street.
And now Chicago police are telling us that pregnant woman was allegedly trying to rob a driver when she was shot. Just disturbing details in this story as it unfolds. CBS News' Sal Rizai live at the 25th District Police Station with more about what happened here.
Oh, this is the girl that's in, ain't she in Sing or whatever that stuff is? Isn't this that one actress? I didn't know she was doing the news. Remember, she's the singing girl. She played Fat Lisa or whatever her name was. What was her name? But anyway, this looks like her. But okay, let's go. I like her coat. Her coat is stiff. Yeah, I like her coat.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Very unusual and devastating circumstances surrounding this shooting. Police say that the shooter took off, leaving hundreds of dollars in cash on that victim's body. The victim, 21-year-old and 7 months pregnant, was shot multiple times after getting into a car, and police saying demanding money. We're told shots were fired both from outside of the car and from people inside of the car. In this video, you can see a big crime scene. This is near Laramie and Montana around 1 o'clock yesterday. Family and friends identifying her as 21-year-old Genesis Escobar. The shooting apparently happened near a family friend.
So this chick, pregnant, she was so desperate that she went along, or her and someone went along and thought because she was pregnant, and it's in the wintertime, so you really can't tell. You wear a coat. But I mean, look at this. It's like, looks like the glue had been kind of not nice to her. Looks like she's got some little hair burns up there. You know, looks like that, you know, but like, what is this of every woman thinking that you know, she's just the beauty queen and ain't nobody seen her before because you got your face done. I mean, but like, what is the mentality of this? Again, like what sense does this make to go try to rob a dude while you're pregnant, or even be with somebody to try to rob somebody while you was pregnant? What sense does that make? How desperate do you have to be? How desperate was the other person, or was she that desperate? Why was she that desperate? Then you can, I don't know if she's, I don't know. It seemed like she could get somewhere on social media and get people to send her money. I mean, some people like seeing pregnant chicks, you know, but okay, let's go.
Friends home, they tell us they found Escobar shot in the street after hearing at least 4 gunshots.
They threw a bunch of money on top of her.
What does that represent in your opinion?
I don't know.
Look at her.
If she was into some kind of trouble.
Now, we do know the shooter took off in an unknown car. The woman and her unborn baby, unfortunately, died at the hospital. Right now, police say they are investigating and no one is in custody.
Wow. See, that's debauchery. That is debauchery. I used to be up in the Baltimore area too. Shit, my mother used to live in Silver Springs. You know, more on the border, but yeah, my mother used to live in Silver Springs. She also lived in Columbus. My mother lived in Columbus, and then she moved from Columbus to Silver Springs. You know, I used to talk about Rock Creek Park. Do it in the dark. Doing it in the park, doing it after dark. Oh yeah, Rock Creek Park. Oh yeah, after dark. That was a band up in DC, but Rock Creek Park, yeah, the speakers, used to have the speakers in the trees and shit. It was cool, really cool. It was cool. Oh, and Sly earlier. Let me clarify this. Sly earlier. He's a hard act to follow, but Sly earlier they was talking about the difference between crack is okay. Freebase and crack are two different chemicals. Now, they're two different types of cocaine, but they're two different chemicals. Now, there is a rum aspect to making freebase. There's a rum aspect to it. When cocaine is like, you can look up a video where they take, what they do is they take the cocaine leaves, they put it in gasoline, and when they come out, it turns into a paste. And this paste is raw base. Matter of fact, they show people over there that would get this raw base and just dip cigarettes in the shit and smoke it like that. Now, to get the cocaine back to that raw base is a different process. Now, UCLA invented a cheaper process. When you have base, you cannot just put it on a straight shooter, put choy in it and smoke it. It won't smoke. Now, this is what you could do. You melt it so far and then you light the whole pipe up and get the whole pipe hot. But again, you holding this motherfucker. You may lighten all this, but that shit'll get hot too. So it's Marvin Gaye, Richard Pryor, they did bass. Whitney Houston, they did bass. It's more addictive. It's a stronger form, more addictive. That's why you did not see that take over, because it's a more expensive process. You got to have something like this to light it. Like the first cats used to, what they do, they would get some alcohol or 151 rum, and they would put the long sticks. They would put the long stick, and you would stick it in there, and you use the flame like that. Before people went to these, that's what the people used to do. Like when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar talks about his book Baseball. That's what they used to do. You put it in some 151 or some alcohol, and you light the flame, and you hit it like that. Because it burned at a higher temperature. Crack a lighter burns crack. So it's a cheaper product, it's a derivative. It's the derivative of base, but it is not, and just as addictive. Like I've said before, I witnessed Kalamazoo, Michigan not have crack. And the shit they was smoking made them act like they had crack, but it was not crack. I ran into some of that bullshit here. I was seeing a lot of dope that wasn't dope. And these people were smoking it like it was dope, but it was all, what they call it, some somatic. So that's the difference between the two. That's the difference between the two. It wasn't the same drug. It's stronger, way stronger. And not way stronger, but I'm talking about like, okay, this is the difference. What happens with crack is this. The first time most people smoke crack, it's a feeling that you forever try to achieve. Smoking crack. I mean, you can, okay? Every time you smoke freebase, you're going to get that feeling. Every time. Like you can smoke freebase, your fucking ears start ringing. Literally out of nowhere. You smoke that shit and you blow that shit out, all of a sudden you're hearing a high ass pitch. I mean, you're hearing a high pitch like ring that comes out of fucking nowhere. Your ears just start ringing. Crack don't do that to you, but if it does, maybe one time. But freebase, every time you smoke it, it's gonna get you there. Crack, again, the way it's mixed sometime, it ain't that great. You smoking it because that's just how fiends gonna ingest. All of it. Powder's the same way. All of it's meant to, you do some, you stop for a little while. You do some, you stop for a little while. It's that kind of drug. Like heroin, you shoot heroin, you mellow. Most niggas smoke weed, you just mellow. You may light a blunt 4 or 5 times. Cocaine is not like that. You cannot, most motherfuckers, I'm telling you, every 15, 20 minutes, no matter how you're doing it, you're doing it. You could have an ounce of powder next to you and you would sit there and do the shit all night. You know, they say don't get high on your own supply, but that's you know, sometimes you'd have just an astronomical amount and this shit ain't losing your money. So, but you know what they say about cocaine? Don't mention it unless you got some. But that's the difference. I mean, you know, that's the difference. It is a different chemical, and it has a freebase really has a stronger effect. Really does. It's pure. You're getting the closest pureness of next to shooting it, because people forget. Like my roommate that was a Vietnam vet. This is what he would do. He would get some heroin. Like Friday night, we would go in half and get some cocaine, and then he would buy some heroin, and he would inject. He would speedball. That's what speedball is when you put heroin and cocaine in the same syringe. That's what a speedball is. And I watched this nigga do that shit. He would liquefy the cocaine, and then he would cook up the heroin. And then they would get that, put it in the cotton, shoot that shit for, you know, and him and his chick. And his chick used to suck his dick. You know, this chick would suck his dick while he was sitting there shooting the speedball. And then he would turn around when she would start shooting, he would eat her pussy. All in front of me. All in front of me. This is all in front of me. It's some wild shit. I'm like, you two motherfuckers is too wild for me. That's a true story. She was a nurse. She was a nurse. She wasn't, you know, he worked every day. He worked every day. And I've told his story before. He worked harder than I worked. He was putting in pipes and shit in the dirt every day. I wasn't doing that shit. And this girl was a nurse. And she wasn't no bummy bitch, you know. But they was both just, you know, they was speedball. Yeah, I didn't need that. David Taylor, thank you for coming.
Got to have vision.
And that's the difference between the two. And, you know, like cocaine it's really not, you don't want to do it at 60 years old. And remember, you know, in the 1800s when it was legal, it was in everything. Just like edibles, it was edible cocaine. Like you can watch the 1700s when they're sniffing cocaine. You know, you'll see a Louis the 14th kind of era and shit, and these motherfuckers got snuff. They would mix sometimes they would mix tobacco with cocaine, or they would take the powdered. They check this out. They would take the powdered. So snuff is they chop up real fine tobacco for snuff, and they would put cocaine over that. So it'd be cocaine powdered over the tobacco snuff, and you'd have a little fucking, you know, thing of it. But that's, you know, it's, you know, 60 years old, you know, like you know, they killed Ike Turner because he, you know, already was in heart failure, high blood pressure, and he's in a hospital bed. You know, he's in a hospital bed in his house, yet somebody brought him cocaine where he had a heart attack and died. That's a hit. Because they knew he was an addict, and if they provided it for him, they wanted him to die. So, you know, I look at it like I'm 62. You know, why would I want to do that now? Like, there's no party, no birthday, no celebration. Like, hey, you know, I think I need some lines. And I've always know where to get it. I mean, there's no problem getting it. I don't want it, though, you know. So, to each his own. But again, don't mention it unless you got it. That comes from Hollywood Shuffle, you know, Franklin the Jai. He was like a bodyguard of the guy. And it's like, well, don't mention liquor and alcohol, and don't mention cocaine unless you got some. It's the 40-year-old joke. Oh, man. God dang, more debauchery. Man, this is more debauchery. Damn. Wow. And this is 9 months ago. I didn't hear about this. Wow, this is crazy debauchery. This is debauchery hour. Look at this debauchery here. Damn.
Made an arrest in the death of a pregnant woman who was murdered and set on fire in Northwest Fresno. Her own brother now in custody, accused in the crime. Thanks for joining us for Action News Live at 5. I'm Vanessa Vasconcelos.
And I'm Warren Armstrong. Action News reporter Brittany Jacob is live downtown at the Fresno County Jail tonight with the new and disturbing information on this investigation. Brittany?
Oh, no, Brittany. Whoa, this is... Man, this is worse than Pam Oliver. Oh my goodness, this is bad. Like, this is horrible. You really, and she's kind of cute, but wow, why did you settle for this? You looked in the mirror and thought this looked good? This is horrible, Brittany. Like, this is horrible. Oh my goodness, honey, come on. And she's got the black and white on, but this is, oh, your wig is horrible. Let's go.
Well, good evening, guys. The family members have just confirmed that Nakaya was 8 months pregnant with baby Noah. And now this comes right after the family just threw her a baby shower over the weekend. Now, 2 lives have been cut short. And we want to warn you that the details in this investigation can be very disturbing.
That possible 1144 in a field. They at Cornelia, 4488 North Cornelia. They have the victim apparently set on fire at this time.
Around 12:30 on Tuesday afternoon, Fresno police and fire responded to this dirt access road for a report of a dead woman set on fire.
Damn. Set on fire. Woo. Oh, had to stand up. Sorry. Man, I mean, this is like serious debauchery.
Authorities have now confirmed the victim is 26-year-old Nakaya Logan, who was pregnant at the time of her murder. The suspect, her own brother, 41-year-old Aaron Dudley. Police Chief Paco Balderrama says it's part of an unsettling trend.
As a police chief, I find this horrific.
What is this nigga's name?
Chief Paco Balderrama says it's
Paco Dama what? What is this nigga's name?
Paco Balderrama says
Paco Damarama. Paco, okay, Paco, let's go.
It's part of an unsettling trend.
As a police chief, I find this horrific. And the fact that we've had, 5 babies murdered in this fashion the last year is something that keeps me up at night.
Detectives believe Logan and her unborn child, baby Noah, had been stabbed numerous times. They say that stabbing happened just a few blocks away from the home Logan shared with her mother and brother. This is not the first time authorities were at that home. About a year and a half ago, they took Dudley on a 72-hour hold after being deemed a threat to himself and others. Police say this time when they arrived, Dudley was trying to cover up the murder.
But this is a person who had the wherewithal to try to clean up the evidence, try to dispose of the body, ran when the police came to knock on the door to see what was going on. So this is not somebody who does not know what he's doing.
District Attorney Lisa Smitkamp says she anticipates her office to file 2 counts of murder because of how far along Logan's pregnancy was. That would make Dudley eligible for the death penalty.
Damn! The death penalty for Dudley. That kind of rhymes. Death for Dudley. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. She should get to slide, but the story is so sick. Sorry about that debauchery, y'all, but god dang. As moon fullness have the same effect on you over the years, the more you or are you more immune to its effects? I guess I'll answer that with I guess I could answer it in like my own evolution of just spirituality and just being in tune to certain things. Now I am a Cancer, so the water and the moon cycles have always seemed to work for me. Yeah, I would say it was something that I've always paid attention to. I mean, just simple as if just a few years ago riding with my son and being out one of those mornings where the moon and sun is out together. And that's almost an impossibility on what I was taught. But just, something simple like that. But as I've gotten older and especially like even my other channel, I've always, and so my other channel is from 14 and I think I started doing it at 18 or 19, really trying to touch more people um, and to give what is, to receive what is given, I guess. And so I guess it's always been because I am a Cancer, it's always been kind of there for me. The more I've studied, and not a lot, but the more as I was younger and studied about that. So the moon has always played that part. Like it also brings up so many memories of just perfect evenings, like really perfect, beautiful evenings in my life. And like one, I'll give you an example of where life sometimes you just have a perfect moment. And like if y'all have ever heard of Welch's grape jelly, um, they grow those grapes in Michigan, and Michigan can grow grapes. I mean, some of the best wine in the country you can find out in Michigan, out of the orchards in Michigan. And so Welch's grape jelly, jelly, grape juice, all this comes from there. And I bring this up because my grandmother used to when my grandfather died, they put her in a rest home. She had a couple rooms. So before games, when I would ref games down there, I would go see my grandmother and then I would go do my game. And one game, particularly, I'd done a game earlier and then I had to go immediately. I did 2 or 3 young games earlier and went immediately to go do 2 games at the other place. I made like $700-800 just in doing 4 or 5 games, but they was like later games. And just what football and the sacred ball game means to me and pure football as a high school game. And I'm sitting here on this beautiful football field, sacred ball game, and the moon is a super moon. These grapes are smelling in the air. It's fall. It's a beautiful night and it's a super moon. And I'm on, to me, the most holiest place, the like something that I've loved and something again that I was steered into being. So that's one of my memories that'll last me forever, just that moment, because that moment for me was everything that I am and my essence of what I love. I was into my essence at that moment. So, and that was back in my daughter was born in 6, so probably 5 or 6. Yeah, so yeah, well, that's outstanding. And like right now, I keep my shades are not fully shut. Most of the time I fully shut my shades, but the way the moon is hitting me, the moon comes from here, my east, and then but the way my building is shaped, the moon has to clear the building to really affect my backyard. And so, where my plants are, and I keep crystals out all the time back there. And then, I keep this window here open so the crystals in this room can get it. And then, the whole house is like that, where the light can come in because, it's coming in kind of later. Matter of fact, when I leave here, I'll go in the backyard and it'll be really like it'll be really bright in the back. I'm surprised I can't even see it now, but it's on this side. It's on this side of me. So it's just a time to manifest. I talk about this every time I do a full moon thing. It's actually 4 days before and 4 days after, and then the energy's kind of so if again the energy is not going to peak until 6 this morning, so we're getting closer to the energy peaking. That's kind of why I started a little late. I came on I think about a quarter after. So, but the peak of the energy, and then you'll be able to see it tomorrow. It'll be just as beautiful tomorrow because more people will be able to appreciate it because more people have tomorrow off. And it's my baby's birthday. She's the big 52. So, we're gonna do our thing. She says she might take off work, so we'll see. Depends on meetings, how many meetings she has and shit. So, yeah. So yeah, it's that's why before I got the machine, the Tascam, I would actually, it was the only time I would do where I do. No, not that. But you know, when I would do these, I mean, during the full moons was the only time I really would do them, you know, make all these sounds. And I think last time, yeah, I don't know. I don't try to be corny, but let's I'm gonna get up for a second and grab my mirror and send some crystal energy out. I think I'll do that. How long have I been going on this? Okay, so I got about I killed my other channel reading the book, hit the thing, and it killed my other. So I did 2 shows accidentally, but that's all right too. Those that want to participate, participate. That those that don't, it's still a protective energy because it is obsidian, so it's nothing harmful about it at all. So those who want to participate can, and those don't, you know, you can. That's all right too. But give me a second to grab it. I'm going to use this crystal ball because this obsidian is like I'm wearing these rings too, and this stuff you can scratch it really easy. So it's just the ball. You can see the purples in it. It's just a crystal ball. And it probably, you know, is more effective if you close your eyes. Yeah, it's going to be more effective if you close your eyes. Because that way you can see, yeah, you'll be able to see, be able to see, you know, a crystal signal. And it might be, more than likely be blue, should be blue. So those of you want to participate, I got to get Crazy Sarge and my brother. They got mirrors too to amplify this, but just send some good moon energies out through scrying. So I don't really have to close my eyes because you know the beautiful thing about scrying is like most of the time when your people are taught about astral traveling, they're taught how to open their third eye only with your eyes closed. And that's not the only way you can open it. You can actually open your third eye with your eyes completely open. You can meditate with your eyes completely open and still bust your third eye open. And the only way to really learn how to do that is through mirror work or crystal ball work. It's the only really way that teaches you how to open your third eye while your eyes are open. So that's the practice right there. And like you know, some would say, well, how does, you know, spiritually, how can that really help me? And this is what's really what can be done, because like what happens is you can be laying in a bed or laying somewhere or sitting somewhere with all the lights off, and you with your eyes open, you can start seeing the same thing that opens up with your eyes closed when you open your third eye. You can literally be there looking at what your third eye will show you with your eyes completely open and completely aware of everything around you. And that's the difference. Like when your eyes are closed, you don't really, you know, but when you are able to, you're able to still see. And it's quite a phenomenon because you can, it's like you can disengage and literally look at your wall, but then you can turn back and look at your ceiling, and, you know, your ceiling is gone because, like, you know, it opens up. Your third eye opens up, and everything that you would see with your eyes closed opens up. So, you know, I'm gonna go for about maybe 2 minutes and count 2 minutes on here. And you know, if you want to participate, participate. If not, and all I really want to just send out is just a signal of crystal hello. That's it. So, and this is a protective crystal, so it's really nothing I could do that negative, because it's really not going to hold anything negative. So, and what's interesting is there's very different, like the ball is interesting in itself because the roundness kind of helps you get a point of how can I say this? So like with a mirror, the point of reference is like me, it'd be the top of my head, more the top of my head, you can see energy. This, the curve of the ball, the energy kind of produces itself. So you can actually start, like you concentrate on the curve of the ball and you seek in. And once you start seeking in, because it's a reference where, you know, you have to regroup your eyes, like you have to reset and set, but the curve is kind of a cheat. And, you know, now like what's making hard is I got all these lights reflecting too. So, you know, I have to work through that as well, but give me a second. And those of you, like I'll try to only go 2 minutes. So I'll count down. Let me see. Okay. I'll use the light. All right. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. There it is. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's about as long as I could hold it. So, you know, nothing negative in that at all. Not really much different than here we go. Yeah. A lot of energy there. A lot of energy there. All right. Oh. Let's see. This is in here. Let's see if, gosh, I don't remember if this is in here or not. No, I don't think it is. No. That's all right, though. I have the book. I got a couple books. Here it is. I'd say this is more black, almost purple though. I don't know. It's almost purple. Then we can just go with black. I think it's purple, but yeah. That's a joke. The number's 442, so you know that's a joke. Here we go. This obsidian is used in shamanic. I don't. Okay, this is used in ceremonies to aid in the removal of this disorder from the body. One travels with obsidian to the affected area of the body and visually brings the affection to the surface, surrounding and transmuting into white light. Black obsidian, inducing creativities in all endeavors, vibrates to the number 3. Gray obsidian, inducing tact and cooperations in all situations. Blue obsidian is used for stimulation of the throat chakra to enhance one's communication skills. But obsidians, it is of lustrous volcanic glass. The instinctive properties of the numerous forms include reflection of one's flaws and from the promotion of a clear picture to the changes that are necessary to eliminate the flaws. The energy of obsidian produces a very blunt answer, focusing one's inner vision and actually stimulating a picture of vision of the required course of action. It is an excellent grounding stone and provides for the connection from the base of the spine to the heart of the earth. It is an excellent protective stone, stabilizing internal and external energies and gently producing one from what should bring physical or from emotional harm. It provides a shield against negativity, transforming negative vibrations in an environment. Carrying and wearing obsidian further disposes those kind of things. So it's, again, no harm intended for anybody. Nothing but positive energy sending out. Those of you participated, if you watch it later again, you might be able to get connected with it because it's sent out there in the universe, and so it's out there. So, and the sounds are another way to cleanse. Like you can have, just like you can have a smudge bath, you can clear like your aura with sound, or you can clear attachments with sound too. Like George Clinton says, sound can move and remove. And it's like a practice where I use this and I can just, kind of get energies off me with this. Like I'm saying, with my big bow, hitting this thing. I just felt something prickly just leave me. It was just like, I think I had been dealing with the pedalite too. But it's like, earlier dealing with the bones, dealing with the bowls. And these are, most people see these in doctor's offices, but these are a good personal way to, get a nice vibration. Especially what you have to understand is in spiritualness, you have to get energies to move. Now you are, like I'm saying, when I'm laying in the bed some days and I'm vibrating high, I may have done something here. By the time I lay down, I'm vibrating high enough. But like before meditating, I ring bells, I do these sounds, and I get the energy moving. And so these are, you say these things are necessary to a point. They really are, because again, if you expect something to move and you want to open your third eye, there are, things that can do that. And, those of you, work with Kundalini, I'm not really a big chakra person, but definitely Kundalini is something that you really can, it can be life-changing in a lot of ways because it's one way where you really power up like a Saiyan. And that's kind of like that's being a Super Saiyan in animation. That's kind of what they're showing you. They're showing you someone that's fully charged of Kundalini. Now, I know they use it for fighting and stuff, and all of it is a copy of the Monkey King in into itself. But it just shows you how, and I talk about, like, when you leave your house, you always should be that charged up. And if you do carry crystals, the crystals should have a purpose. It's like I say, with jewelry and looking at all the entertainers wear the same type of jewelry. Now, if you understand the purpose of jewelry, then okay. Because the one thing that diamonds do, diamonds amplify your energy. They amplify whatever is around you. But if it's negative shit around you, you got negative amplifiers. And that's just how they go. Diamonds can hold negative energy. Shungite is another thing that can never hold negative energy. So you actually can release, because crystals don't really need to be cleansed, but they need to be released, because if they do work, it's the same thing. They need to be released. Wow. It's like once you find one debauchery story, it's like 100 more. What? Oh, yeah. I did that story. I did that story a while ago. So enough debauchery. But it's funny how you find one pregnant woman killed, you know, how it's just popping up everywhere. But yeah, I'm glad I peeped that thing out about the twins and the sacrifice. It's funny how, you know, it's always rumors about getting rid of Kurt. Who is Mendez? Oh, okay. There's pressure on Kurt. Oh, did you guys hear that Target are closing stores? Target is closing stores. Yeah, Target is closing stores out west. Target. Which is interesting. Because Target is cheaper to go to Walmart than Target. So Target is slightly upscale than, well, Target's clothes are better than Walmart's clothes. I'll say that. Now, they ain't name brands, but you can get, Target sells Levi's, Target sells Wranglers. I don't think they sell Nikes and no shit like that. You can probably get some NFL stuff and baseball stuff. But it's interesting. Jeffrey Lane sent me, you know, showing the store closings and then the debauchery out in California. You know, people just rushing into the stores. Now, so how is it that people couldn't do that in the past? How is it that people couldn't do that in the past? You know, like the way it used to be is one person is in the store, and then that one person would get like 30 police get you. Like if you went into Target, the police would arrest you in the store, and then they would call 30 more police to arrest you. What happened to that time? You telling me things are so different now, and they're so mad, and so many people quit because of George Floyd that they can't do that anymore. I mean, you guys remember 5-10 years ago, one person get arrested, you try to take something, it's 30, 40 cops would come. So you telling me that ain't there no more? And there's nothing making me believe that that ain't still there. So this is allowed. You know, what we saw out west, them taking stuff, that's allowed. That's allowed. Because they can put an army out there if they really want to stop it. They don't want to stop it. They want instability. They want you not to be able to go to stores. That's what it appears like. It's like and I'll say this, you know, if it's anything, to me, this doesn't seem, you know, natural. It seems like the energy that owns this shit is putting energy in making this happen. Because we know they don't give a damn about workers and cutting these stores and the workers. Because you're saying you can't take the theft laws, which we know is a lie. And you know, like look at Costco. Do you know you can like buy some salmon, cook half of it, take back the rest and say, I didn't like the shit. You know they'll give you your money back? You can take a basket, you can buy a basketball hoop from Costco, break it, take it back. They'll take it back. So do you see how they can launder money if they want to launder money? Do you see how this works? And most businesses is money laundering businesses. There's a place here. It's called Cyrus. They make big Oriental rugs. I mean like 10, 20,000 plus Oriental rugs. You probably can get some $800-900 rugs too, but not the kind of rugs that's going to be in TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Home Goods. Not them. These is $1,000 rugs. How often does a nigga buy a $10,000 rug? How often? Like, look at. I mean, car dealers appear like they're a great way. And remember, until the IRS got involved, they used to launder money like a motherfucker through cars. It wasn't until what, the mid '80s, early '90s, when they started cracking down on money laundering cars. They let it go for a long time, where you could just take a bunch of bread and go get a car, couple cars. So most of these businesses is money laundering businesses anyway. Now, what Target and Walmart and what they have is they sell groceries. And it does seem like they don't want the urban people to have stores. I mean, what other assumption can you make? Doesn't seem like they want them to have stores. So you have to get everything online. And how good a fruit do you get when you can't follow the fruit? $10,000 rug buying niggas. Yeah, but how often, like how often a month? How many rugs do you think they sell in a month? And it's funny, this is changing the subject a little bit, but it's funny. I was trying to, I've always tried to set up a spiritual school. I really was trying to set up a spiritual school and working with some people to try to get the funds. And I found a place, 10 acres, there's plenty of room to really live and set up the spiritual school at the same time. It had everything I needed, but just couldn't quite get the funding. But it was funny looking at the house. I told him what I didn't like about the house. I said, this doesn't make sense. I said, one reason is the bathroom was like, this is dated. Because at the time, I think the house was, it was $3 million, I think. And now they're asking $4 million. But it was funny. It's like all the things I pointed out. Like what was interesting is when you came in, they definitely had like a North Star. I didn't think it was anything demonic about it, but when you came in the house, it was like a North Star in marble. Now it looks like they tore that out. They had a room that was going to be great for just meditating and just good group teaching room. And they put some bullshit in that. But it's just funny, some things I said about the place they've done, which I thought was interesting. But now they want $1 million more. But the very thing I pointed out, I was like, this right here, this bathroom, there's no way. Look at this bathroom. It's like, this is how much they going to take off of this. So, and I really haven't given that up, but it's like I've got other aims. I mean, that would be nice, but without, some heavy investments, maybe a couple years I can do it. But right now it's like my aims is somewhere else. My aims, and I love this place. I really do. This like you talking about being able to take advantage. Like I went out in front and really connected with the moon. And then I set out with some crystals in the back. And I mean, it's just, this place is like the most spiritual place I've ever been. This whole area down here where these Lakotas, live first. I mean, there's so much. I've evolved so much from I think this is 5 going on 6 years. I've lived down here 6 years in this southern part, but where the Lakota really lived. And again, this is, what I call my afternoon show. Big Eagle actually lived in this area. His lake is like just to my east, and the spiritual lake is again to my north, and that's within walking distance from me, the spiritual lake. And so this is like a pass of them going, people going to go to the lake and whatever kind of energies that there. And there's a lot of energies, So, did y'all check this out? Let's see if I can get it to do it again. And just to show that I want to show more of my hand. So this is just some crystals. And this is my pendulum. And let's see if I can get it to do it again. And you see, look at my hand ain't really swinging. Because it was going crazy earlier. It was doing real big loops. Now it doesn't want to show off. Okay, you're showing off now. These things can have a personality. It's funny. But what's interesting, like you take, Like this is obsidian too. This is my chairman Fred. You know, this one travels with me. And like you can like feel where the energy, like the expansion of the crystal, you can feel how where the energy's like flaring out. If that makes sense to you. You know, you can feel in the pendulum the expansion of like right here, I'm already feeling the energy off this crystal way up here. Let's see if I can feel it. Yeah, right even here. So I'm feeling the crystal energy and I'm this high above it. And I can switch crystals and you can kind of see different effects that each crystal has. See, you know, the expansion where it feels the energy from the other crystal the greatest. So see right here, it's reacting from this crystal. It feels the crystal energy. And this makes it reverse spin. That's interesting. The whole time I've been messing with it tonight, it hasn't reverse spin or counterclockwise. And so, you know, this just shows, you know, it feels the vibration. So you don't always have to ask the crystal questions, you know. It's other ways that you can feel. I mean, you know, you lose something, you can you can walk around your house and it can help you find some shit too. So yeah. But this is all my alchemy. But I mean, I think a lot of, you know, the social behavior is allowed. It's allowed, and it's an excuse to allow it. These people make crazy money. They can employ people for centuries. I mean, really, really. Most, and you know, what has to be pointed out is, you know, it's only, like at one time, it was only 2 car makers. People forget that. Well, three maybe. Because what GM did and what Ford did, they bought almost all the dealerships. They didn't buy BMW, Audi. They didn't buy Volkswagen, you know, which is Audi, Porsche. They didn't buy BMW, Rolls Royce, Bentley, but they damn near bought everything else at one time. In America, they own damn near, you know, all the cars that was coming into America, mostly. And now, you know, only, what is it, 3 gas companies? The meat comes from only 1 or 2 places. They put different packaging, but it's like people forget when Audi's opened up, like when you would get, check this out. People don't realize this is what a lot of Audi food was when Audi's first woke up, first started up as a business. A lot of their food was rejects from like Kellogg's. Like, did you ever notice how like Fruity Pebbles would have more lemon? Like it would have more lemon in it than like if you got the regular Fruity Pebbles. Or sometime it would taste too grape. This was rejects from Kellogg's. But where they ain't gonna throw it away, they ain't throwing these batches away. They was able to sell them to Audis. And that's why that would be the difference. It was still Kellogg's made the shit. It's companies where people literally, it was like mayonnaise companies. I had a friend work like, you know, you would never thought the other mayonnaise was made by them, but it was a mayonnaise that went to like Audi's. One of the Audi's brands. They would run the regular brand, and then at a certain time they would change over and run, you know, the Audi brand. So that's kind of, you know, how they were at first cut corners, but they ain't cutting that many corners. They're not cheap anymore over there. It's not cheaper than Walmart's. It's about the same. And Target is expensive. Their food is expensive, and it's they've been not having a big meat selection. I mean, I really don't like getting meat from Target, burger and shit. But like it just, I don't know. I like it's better selections at other places. I definitely really have shied away from getting meat at Aldi's anymore. I don't even get meat from there anymore. Vegetables, they're great. Vegetables and fruit from Aldi's is great, no doubt. But I kind of creamer. They have a creamer that's just cream, not a lot of oil. If you're a coffee drinker, don't drink cream with oil. What is the favorite one called? The creamer is the one that gets the most commercials and stuff. Yeah, but Aldi's has a really good one that is cheaper than what I get from Cub, because Cub is another one of our places. And who remembers this? Cub started like as and I didn't realize that Cub actually. So the store that is in Kalamazoo, I used to deliver money. We used to deliver money to Cub. Used to be just like Sam's Club. Cub in Michigan, this Cub here used to be like Sam's Club. They sold bulk. That Cub was the first place I dealt with that sold bulk. I became a member because we used to deliver money there. And now Cub is mostly the grocery stores around here. Cub, or people not from here would be saying Cubs like the, Chicago Cubs. But that's, I think a lot of these things are allowed to harm neighborhoods. They're allowed. They want the people to be scared. They want the people, like in New Jack City, what did they say? When they showed what the Collins brothers had really did in Detroit by taking over a building. And then you control everybody. They become hostages. And that's almost like that's what they want the people to be. But they don't, it's almost, their excuse. Because like you see the thing that they was doing in California, but you notice they was only showing melanated people. The close-ups was only melanated people. Like no Europeans wanted to be involved. So what do you think, the average European thinks? Because this is the reporting, and some people aren't critical thinkers. And they don't look at this event and say, wait a minute. You just saying niggas was the only out, just niggas was the only people out there? No Europeans was out there? Because it's more poor Europeans in America than anybody else. And so you saying none of these poor Europeans was part of it. But that's not what they didn't show that, do they? Because we know that it's a group, it's going to be Europeans a part of it. Again, if the agents that started, again, that's going to be Europeans, but it's poor Europeans that would jump to this chance. Them European niggas. But see, they make the optical just think it's us, melanated folks, right? Just melanated people. So be aware of that. Be critical thinkers of that. Don't look at that and just buy into what they showing. It ain't all one thing. And look at this way they launder money. Look at these stores, furniture stores. How does the furniture store stay open? How many couches is really you selling every day? I mean, even looking at the car lots. How many cars? Like I live near 3 or 4 car lots, and every it seemed like the same cars be there every day. So when they go after little people and they want to know how much is in your Cash App card and your Cash App card history, what about these businesses that, like, I tell the story of a friend lost his nice businesses, his couple nice businesses. He couldn't compete during COVID. Couldn't compete. And it's called the, I just ate there last week. It's called the Copper Pint. It's called the Copper Pint. Now, I've got to ask my daughter's mother what it was called before, because I don't remember. I was trying to think of what the restaurant was called before. But other places survive that sell these big, high price stuff. Nobody's buying couches during the lockdown. Nobody's buying. What did PJ say? Nobody's buying. Where's the 10,000 rug buying niggas? Where was that during COVID? Was it a bunch of 10,000 rug buying niggas during COVID? We know it wasn't. We know it wasn't. So, I mean, just look at your world as you drive around. You'll see it. You'll see it that they gotta be laundering money in these places. How are these places paying electricity in these big ass buildings? Air conditioned. So you look at the world differently, you start looking like, wait a minute, you going after people? The IRS going after people and these places is operating and this ain't adding up. The visual, it doesn't make sense. And they're, well, you're not like the place is called Camping World. They got all them RVs out there and all the trailers and shit. And that is one of the worst investments, to buy one of them RVs and one of them trailers that you pull along or you park at a lake. That shit is made so cheaply. Like even looking at trailers, you know, they make them better now, but some like those are made fast on assembly lines. So the life of that stuff is not long. The materials they build those with are not long, not compared to a prefab house. I remember my uncle had built basically, I think he had 4,000 square feet. It was a small mansion. And he arguing with us because like when he started building it, my grandfather said, you want to go see how far, you know, what Billy's house is going to look like? I'm like, okay. So we would go out there and I would visit my grandparents about every weekend. And we saw these big ass pieces prefabricated. So every time I'd go out there, we'd ride out to my uncle's property and see the house get put up. And so we see these big ass pieces and they built this house from all these pieces. It's a prefab house. I was like, wow. And like when they got it done, I was like, wow, this is nice for a prefabricated house. And he's like was upset that I called it a prefabricated house. He's like, it's not a prefabricated house. We had it built. I'm like, yeah, but that wall right there was a big old part, like right, all this was together. Yeah, I saw it. That wall right there, that piece of wall right there, and that ceiling, it was all already together when they brought it here. That to me is a prefab house. Like, what are you talking about? This was a prefab. It's a big ass prefab house, but it was a prefab house. And my cousin sold it when it, he sold it. When his parents died, he sold that motherfucker. He lives in Virginia. He has a farm in Virginia. Not as nice as that house, but that ain't that nigga, His dream of, when he became a millionaire, his dream was to buy a Mini Cooper. That was this nigga's dream, when he became a millionaire, when he inherited, because he was probably damn near a millionaire when he inherited his mother's money. But then when he inherited his father's money and his brother, it was just the two of him and his brother died years ago. So, and I know my uncle was a millionaire, so he inherited, he sitting on more than $1 million probably. And his dream was to buy a Mini Cooper. That's the only indulgence you see. The nigga lived in the same kind of crib. He's got a long grandpa beard. He's a year or two younger than me. This nigga's at least 60 though. Yeah, I think he turned 60. But the nigga's a millionaire and he owns a farm in Virginia and he lives modestly. They drink beer and sit in the back and smoke cigarettes around the fire, So he's opposite of me. He doesn't have, the only diamond he might have is the diamond ring that his wife got. He just, he's not like me. He doesn't like the finer things in life, but that's okay. That's that nigga. And that's what, he did with his thing. And so I'm all right with that. Because, you got your thing and I got mine. And I don't need to know or be jealous of your thing because I got my thing. And right now, my thing is good enough for me. And that's how you got to feel about, like, everything you have is good enough. And that's where we get tricked into thinking it ain't, but it is. Everything we have is good enough. So keep that in mind. As you reflect about what you have, know that it's good enough. Know that your car is good enough. If it's getting you around, it's good enough. It's doing what that car, it's funny. You sit next to, I hate bringing this goofy nigga up, but I have to bring him up again. So I told you the story where this cat on the reservation, and I clowned him, and I'm gonna clown you again. I run into him all the time because when I play pickleball, I go to reservation daily. But anyway, he just bought two Challengers. He bought no, he bought a Charger and a Challenger, all the hyped up one. But he just bought, what did he call it? A jailbreak. He just bought a jailbreak broke one. What is it? 1,000 horsepower. Can go 200 miles an hour. It can go what 1 point. It takes it a second to go. Was a quarter mile? Second. A second to go a quarter mile. 1.9 seconds. They said the shit should have a parachute on it. They said you can't put it on the tracks to drag it, to race it, because it doesn't have a parachute or bucket seats. So this dude, and he's the dude that he gets his Cash App card. He goes to the bank, and and he thinks that he can use his Cash App card to get the bank to help give him the money to get the car. Or the bank, he thinks the Cash App card, because he put some money in the Cash App, but he was thinking his debit card. That's the word I'm looking for, his debit card. He thought the debit card he just got today, not the one with his name on, when you first get the dummy light card that works for a little while until your new one comes. And he thought he could buy $200,000 cars. Doesn't quite work like that, buddy. But on the other hand, if he had any pimpiness to him, and the people are used to dealing with the people from the reservation, they would be like, hey, you take the cars and bring me back the money tomorrow. So, but I ran into him. He's like, yeah, I just got a jailbroke 1,000 horsepower. I'm like, okay, so that car goes quarter mile, 1.9 seconds. You know how fast that is? And you know how easy it is to hit it? Like, you hit it and you don't really realize you hit it? A car that can legally go 200 miles an hour? I don't know if I need all that. My car can go about 120, and that's good enough. There's rarely a time I need to go 100. With the speed limits almost 70 everywhere, 65, 70, the highway, I live right off a highway, so it goes 70. So I love driving my mother's car with the paddle shifters. It's the 300 and it's a 12. So it's not that bullshit Stellantis. It's one of them Mercedes built 300s. See, them the ones to get. If you get a 300, don't get the Stellantis 300. And that's why, they're changing cars, is because, they're running out of the other company's ideas. It takes 5 years to bring a car to market. 5 years. So the car is brand new looking. If it's a new body and everything, was really a 5-year-old car because it was designed 5 years previous. Or when I was in the business, that's what it took. But I think it still takes that long. And so why would you need to go that fast? What does my man say? It's what he says.
I just left a lot in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this.
Just left a lot in. I guess that's all they're thinking about. I got this demon. Or like Kodak Black says, pull up in the demon like I'm God. Something like that. Pull up in the demon like I'm God. That's a hell of a line. Pull up in the demon like I'm God. That's a good play on words. And that's, that means a couple different things, but that's it. Because it's funny, these books, they talk about demons, you get listed demons, but if you believe it again, don't believe anything, but if you study and you think that Solomon was a real person, he could control demons just with a ring. And if you look at comic books, it's like the Green Lantern almost turned that power. It doesn't turn demon, but you're able to, change matter with a ring. Instead of being able to control demons. And like the magicians did a show where they talk about the genies in the bottle and shit. And what they didn't realize is, the thing that they thought they were saving the people from was actually a thing they needed to catch. and it's like these genies, and then they held in a bottle, but it's like when I talk about the czar. When I talk about this, this is, when you talk about the jinn, and how to control it by putting his ass in the bottle, and the jinn will do some tricks for you, where the magicians were showing where the jinn could like haunt you like demons, unless you found a way to capture them. Just it's a different kind of entity, but it's fucking with you the same way, and it's stronger than the demon in a lot of ways. That you can get this motherfucker to go in the bottle. I was checking this one lady out. So she was, she was dealing with some jinn energy, and the jinn was a little small jinn, was healing her and shit. Possible, but how do you get it back in the bottle? Was what I was thinking when she was talking. Like, okay, he did that for you, but again, it's always a give and take. What does it get from healing you? And some it could I guess you could get some jinn that's just naturally healing, but it doesn't appear like that's a natural thing for them all the time. It's like I said, evil can do good work. Something evil can do something good. Just like something good can do something evil. And I mean, your Bible stories tell you that, because, when this thing is slaughtered and everything, it's supposed to be good, but yet it's slaughtering everything. So good can do evil shit too. That's what it teaches you. But it can go the other way around. Evil can do good shit too. Because again, if it just stays in one energy all the time, how is it getting anything done? If the idea is to convince man to do some bullshit, right? It can't just be always this negative. People's like, you fooled me last time. I can't fuck with you. So it has to entice you some kind of way. And it's like, with damn Yankees. Whatever Lola wants, what Lola gets. Yes, she's going to, in Bedazzled, we see it later in Bedazzled where they make fun of Shaq. You go back and look at that movie and you see where they make fun of Shaq. Part of one of his dreams is to be a dominant basketball player, and they make the dude 7'8" or some shit, and then he sweats profusively. When he's not playing, he just can't stop sweating. And his Johnson is like like a pigtail, and that was alluding to Shaq, because that was what they wasn't signing MDAs. Some of them, that word got out on what Brother Shaq was holding. So he ain't Superman everywhere, I guess. But again, it's a price for it. And it bedazzled, again, everything, the outcome of what, he's wishing for. And it's like what he's wishing for, he doesn't really need, because again, she's giving it to him, but it's never perfect. See, some of the shows, again, damn Yankees, everything he gets it becomes perfect for it. She makes him a baseball star. Well, what time is it? I've been so lazy about playing pickleball. I really have. I just been super, super lazy. I hurt my knee hitting yesterday, so my knee hurts. I iced it. It feels a little better, but it still hurts. And I doubt I'm going to get up in a couple hours and go play. It's 4 o'clock in the morning here. I doubt I'm going to get up at 8 or 9 or 10. But I think I'm going to play Saturday for sure with my friend. So me and him will work out and maybe play some people. Yeah, I got to walk around the mall, Got to get my girl some gifts and shit for her birthday. Yeah, got to do a couple other things, but yeah. And I'm joyful for her, It's for both of us. She's a super person. I mean, she really is. She's a super, super, super great person. And it's working. you know. And I'm a storm, you know, I'm a storm like a motherfucker. But I'm also compassionate and caring. And so, you know, don't be too hard on yourself and your partner, you know. You know, sometimes you just gotta say, okay. Because I know sometimes I get caught up into saying shit and it's like, okay, I go overboard. And I'm not too big to say I'm sorry. You know, I was too much. And some people can't do that. Some people have a hard time with that. Apologizing for uncalled for behavior, over the top behavior. And I think that's what maturity helps with. To know when, okay, you know, I was wrong. I caused it. I made that happen. You know, and that's just maturity. And like Richard Pryor said, it's just hard enough to be a human being. And then you got to deal with everything. And, you know, like the witch says, love or above. And there's so many things that can take that love. You know, you're at a point where, you know, you wake up and you have all that love. And then the wife says some shit, you know, and that love meter goes down. And then, you know, you may get a call from work early or something, that love meter goes down. The children want something, that love meter goes down. They done ate or drank the last whatever. And by the time you get out the house, your love meter's in your knees. And that's the same way you vibrate. Because again, you've taken away being a Super Saiyan. No matter what goes on, you still keep yourself in the love. And it don't mean, you know, being a simp or a sucker. It means that, you know, you ever to look at things for what they really are. And you see the positive and negatives of what it is. And you don't let that affect your love for living and love for the world. And that's I guess that's a part of the lucid living that Fritz talks about. You know, he talks about the dreamer being able to be the living dreamer. You know, facing things as the living dreamer. And as the living dreamer, you can love, keep that love up there. And then you can walk out the house a Super Saiyan. I'll give it out. It's coming to me, I'll give it out. And so when you go somewhere, you know, people feel it. It's like, it's funny how I'll walk by people and people feel my energy. They'll like turn around. And you know, I fuck with people. I'd be like, you know, fucking with them, tell them to turn around and shit. But it's like I walk in the area and it's somebody to just look up at me. Yeah, I thought I just saw a flash, and I know it ain't lightning. So some kind of flash. Maybe I just turned my head, but I thought I saw a flash. And so that's how, you know, you should be. You know, people should feel your energy, especially if your energy is positive and you're a real man. It's like I didn't even think about this. I was talking about this. It's like my ex-wife is European, and I was the first melanated person to come into the family. And all those people that were younger and saw me all chose melanated people, melanated mates. Whereas before I was with their cousin, none of them dated melanated folks. And it's like they saw a man in me. You know, and I don't even think about that, but they saw a man in me. It was like they saw that, you know, melanated people can be good people too. It opened their eyes up to the world of other people. Instead of the stereotypes of their own world. They were able to look at other people with the new eyes. That this man, these kind of men can be good men too. Now all of them is mostly single baby mamas, so I will throw that in there too. And most of them is single baby mamas. Yeah, there is something like we were not supposed to get any lightning tonight. There's the phone. Over here. I can't reach it. Nothing in the weather about, yeah. Oh, it is lightning. Okay. It says lightning nearby. Okay. Any rain? Oh, well, we're supposed to get rain. Yeah. It's supposed to rain. Shit, start raining anytime. Okay, so it is lightning. I'm like tripping, it is lightning, so I'm not tripping out because I was seeing flashes. And see. So I guess that came with it too, niggas ain't shit sometimes, you knock them up and then, you don't want to be with them. That's a part of nigga behavior too. But, just to open their eyes to other type of men, that's all. And with me as an example, oh, did you see that one? Yeah, I saw it, didn't hear. Okay, that was a good one. It's lightning like a motherfucker. This is cool. Full moon with lightning. And they talking about we're going to have an El Nino winter up here, which means less snow, because in the winter of 11, when my daughter was born in August, going into 12, yeah, we didn't have no snow. I had a big snow blower. I told the story before where I was supposed to work in a warming house. It never got cold enough for me or my friend to work in a warming house. That nigga ain't my friend. I don't know why I'm saying my friend, but a dude I knew. We was going to, we had it for the week. It's like where the park is. All the parks here have hockey rinks. So they freeze them they freeze it in the winter times, and they have warming houses. And that winter, I'm telling you, the whole winter, it never got warm. It never froze. The ice never froze. Not where people could skate the whole winter. I mean, I only shoveled one time. And this past winter I hurt my back. I shoveled so much this past winter. So, but today's supposed to be 82, so it's going to be a nice day. But it's like, it's going to be wet in the morning. So good. If I play pickleball, it'll be later in the day. But if my girl, if my fiance, my wife in a few weeks. I'm looking at these shoes. I was trying to think if I ever had a pair of them. Maybe one pair. Yeah, I'm gonna have some good meditation with this storm coming. That's this energy, that shock energy. This is part of, okay, like being a Cancer is also a wind type of energy because of the water. And I have a relationship with the wind, so it's this is shock. And as you see, he's dressed as a ball player. You see the same helmets. Helmet, chin strap. See, that's a chin strap. See, chin strap. You see the ear spools, but they're also chin straps. See, that's a chin strap. I gotta bring my other crystals out. I forgot the ones I carry with me daily. Let them get some of this energy. I carry shingite everywhere. Look at all that gold in the shingite. Or that silver. Pyrite is in the shingite. And this is serpentine, but this is definitely that, that is the Om and the Omic. I carry the Omic consciousness with me everywhere I go. And this little piece of Numite. This Numite wand. Very protective. These two stones are some of the oldest stones on Earth. So I'm going to leave them out so they can get kissed by the moon. Okay. Yeah, it's lightning like a motherfucker. It's lightning like a motherfucker. Yeah, when I get down here, it's going to be a nice meditation. It's going to be a real nice meditation when I get done here. And we're getting closer to, where the energies are peaking. I should probably stand up. Let me stand up. Oh. Oh. All right. But one thing I do, if I don't exercise, I don't play pickleball, I still eat right. I still eat very little sweet, unnatural sweet. I don't eat cookies and candy and all that shit. When I eat chocolate, it's dark chocolate. 70. The lowest one I eat is 72%, and that's pretty sweet for me. So I do practice that. And I'm just helping to kind of had knee issues all year, and so it's really better sometime to rest. It's better to be lazy to take care of yourself. So yeah, it looks like on this screen it's raining. Oh, it calls for rain tomorrow, it looks like. Going into Saturday morning. Fight. And I'm going to see the movie, I think it's called The Creator. Going to see The Creator tomorrow. I will be doing a review on the Creator. If you want to know about the Expendables, you can look at earlier the show or the other show, because this is part 2. Part 1, I think I did the Expendables. So if you want to see that, I didn't think it was a terrible movie, but the screenplay was weak. If you like shoot 'em ups, perfect for that. And I saw John Wick still making records. John Wick, or not John Wick, but The Equalizer. So Denzel made money off it. So the movie worldwide did pretty good. So I still think it was a mistake not showing him killing the people in the beginning. That was a mistake. They should have shown that. The after effects, to me, wasn't as impressive as if we would have watched him do it. And I know for them, the poster and everything of him sitting there and telling them that you're too close to me and everything, letting them catch him so the other person would come so he could kill him. I understand that. But I still think it would have been impressive to see him kill everybody to get to that point. I think that was a mistake in their movie. So I pointed that out before. But Expendables is a good shoot 'em up. If you like shoot 'em ups, you like seeing shit blowed up, the movie's for you. No doubt. The movie is definitely for you. And that's what I like about, I can be spiritual, but yet I'm grounded. And I think that's what happens to some people. It's like I do wonder about the dude I call the Gipper, because it's like you can see he's really not grounded. Because despite what this all is, it's not always against you. Despite whatever this is, whatever reality, it is not always against you. And you don't always have to fight it. Because it's ebbs and flows that you can plug into. Like I talk over and over again about driving, how you can conquer driving. It's an ebb and flow of driving, you can conquer that. And so the rest of it is the same way. You can conquer all of it. So you see the tricks that the thing is playing, and you just don't fall for the tricks or pay attention to it. Because that's the thing that this thing hates, is when you don't pay attention to it. That's why it loves sports, because everybody pays attention to it. But it's like no publicity is bad publicity. You see how they're trying to mock us because we're catching on to it all being fixed like wrestling. So they make these commercials that mock us for thinking that it is entertainment. And they're kind of almost admitting that it is entertainment. And the reason why I bang on it so much is like when I told you about my experience being on a high school game on a beautiful fall night. That's the sacredness of it right there. It's original. These boys are doing it for the love of the game. These parents are there cheering and supporting their children. That's what it's supposed to be. Not the Harlem Globetrotters. And that's what we get with the NFL. We get the Harlem Globetrotters every week. Just a better version. It's a better version. And eventually they're going to be forced to admit that they're all fixed like they made wrestling admit it. Isn't that funny? They made wrestling admit that it was fixed. When they brought the baseball players in, they didn't ask the players if the games was fixed. They asked the players, was they using steroids to fix games? Or was they using steroids at all? Because the way they put it out there was like you'd play better with steroids. So the game was kind of fixed because of steroids. Wasn't that what they was telling you? These guys played better because they used steroids. Remember that agenda that they tried to get you to fall for? Well, he hit so many home runs, his head got really big, and he was able to hit home runs better because he was injecting this stuff that the game needed. Because remember, when they went on strike and didn't have a World Series, people didn't give a fuck about baseball. So they allowed Mark McGwire to freely, you saw creatine in his locker. You can go find that, look that up. So he was using the type of aid and steroid. And like Barry Bonds, you can't really penalize him because that wasn't the rules when he played. How are we really to believe you and say, well, we got some of Barry's and we retested it. It's good. It was good all these years and nothing happened to it. What did we learn from OJ? They fuck that shit up all the time. We supposed to believe you? You tested some shit 20 years later. Why would you keep it? Well, something might change and we're going to need this Barry sample. Really? Doesn't it cost to keep that sample? So we don't believe none of that shit. But that's why I bang on it, because to me it's spiritual. That's why I say I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins. A game that you can get so high where you can challenge the gods. Or play with them. Or play with them. You ain't got to fight them. You can play with them. I know a lot of people ain't going to get to see this, but the people that do, I hope you get some out of it. Because I like to be a little bit of everything, not just caught into one thing. So I try to break it up on a little bit of everything. Because some of this stuff ain't people's thing. This crystals or whatever, the crystal ball or crystal energy, it ain't your thing. That's okay. Might be something else I talk about. It might be your thing. And it's good, like this is like really spirituality and insanity can almost go together sometimes. Because spiritual experiences can make a person go insane. Because they have these experiences and there's no one to talk to this about. And everyone's looking at you like doubting what you experienced. And if you get that much negative connotations about, your behavior, what you went through, and these are all you got to talk about. Or just like the Gipper, you can become so caught up into your theories that you don't really see everything anymore. Like you see things from a very negative, no. You start seeing things from a very narrow point of view. And so what happens is you lose beauty and love in the world. Because you don't operate from love anymore. Because it doesn't exist to you. Because you have nothing that you really love, but very intimate, like very, very minimal things that you love. You take care of some things. That's the way you love, is you take care of some animals or you take care of some plants. But where's the love of interaction with people? Because we're not really meant to be isolated individuals. And it's a lot more fun being God around people than being by yourself. Because you miss it. Because you being around a person can affect them. And it can affect them positive. So that's why being grounded and rounded helps. Because sometimes you can get too caught into your idea. And what the Beatles say, all we need is love. Love is all you need. Damn, it's supposed to be 87 on Sunday. I still ain't going swimming that day. I don't care. I don't think they can warm that pool up enough, even if it's going to be 87. So if I get pickleball in, I don't know. I might get some in tomorrow. If I get out there at 10, I can probably play a couple games. But my knee hurts. But I can wrap it up. And once I wrap it up, I forget and I go at it. I get to be a lazy mug too, y'all. Definitely get to be a lazy mug. What am I going? 3 hours? Okay, that's probably enough. I can't do no more. I can't do no more. But I want to ask y'all one question.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Yeah, I want to ask you again.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Where are they at? But we really want to pep it up. Gotta get a piece of mind. Ooh, should I hit you again with that? Gotta get a piece of mind. What? Gotta get a piece of mind. Sometimes I feel. Ooh. That song does something to me. That song does something to me. Just like, my message. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. I'm still trying to make my message. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. Is it loud enough? And that's where I say, sometime I'm at fault because it's not loud enough. It's ready like a motherfucker now. That my message isn't loud enough. But I'm trying to make it loud enough so you can relate. That I can say some of these abstract thoughts in a relatable way. Because if I can't make them relate, what's the point of it? If you can't relate to the spiritualness I talk about. I mean, this stuff here, it's like this stuff here. I'll be reading this stuff, and it's nothing like it. But this ain't the end all be all. It's another way. It's a way. It's a way. And that's what a lot of it just sums up to. These are just ways. Okay. Okay. Hey, both all, but even this stuff, the magician's tablets, this is just a way. It's like, I'm using your information, what y'all said. Now you're saying it can't work for everybody? Bobby Hewitt said it don't work no more. That's what he said. He said, you get these books and this shit don't work. And that ain't really true. Because I know Bobby didn't read this book because he don't never talk about it. So he can't say if this work or not. And the Gipper always likes to talk about the Tibetan Book of the Dead, but that prepares you. A good read of that and research prepares you. There's not really anything else that prepares you the way they prepare you. They show you step by step what you're supposed to do with the body. It has nothing to do with not even to confuse and get into that. It shows you how to prepare the body. Things that you should do with the body. It tells you you want to have your head sitting in the east, your feet sitting in the west. That's how you want to pass. You want somebody to rub your head. So all the energy comes out of here. And they tell you, you don't want to come out the nose, you don't want to come out the ass, you don't want to come out your penis. It tells you methods to block all that up, your ears, everything, or any orifice. It shows you how to cover this stuff up. So when you shoot out, you shoot straight out. You ain't coming out the eyes. You ain't coming out your nose. And perhaps those are traps. Probably so. I would say, those can be traps. And I only say they're traps because, again, if you don't clearly get the message of what it's trying to say, you could have doubt. Yeah, you could have doubt. Yeah. It could be something poking you and giving you doubt. Well, like, I don't really need to do it that way. I'll try another way. And you come out the ear or something. And you're not fully what you should be. The energy, the energy is not, you're not getting all the energy. I think Bomber talks about you don't get all the fuel. That's really it. You don't have all the fuel for taking your vessel off. You don't have enough fuel. And it's like the trick of, you go to where you think the pie in the sky is, and at first you have a castle. And I've said this many times because I've watched this shit. And it's like all of a sudden your castle is, something's eating your castle. And you don't really know what's going on. It's just something is eating your castle all around you. And you don't know what to do. Before you know it, you're just in free space where you thought you was in heaven. And heaven's gone. And then what are you going to do? You're this spirit that thought that this was heaven. Now it's gone. And you know what happens? It's like these other things that suck you up like a vacuum cleaner start coming by. Because that's definitely a trap. You'd be like, well, I thought I was in heaven. Like, nah, you just something to eat. If you follow that, you just something to eat. Because that's what happens with belief. And that's why I get on to free will. That's a trap too. It's a trick. I say that's more of a trick than a trap, but it can be a trap as well. It's hurting my arm. But yeah, the energies are really good tonight. They're strong. The energies are strong. So as it's about to peak, I guess I'm gonna call it. Yeah, I'm gonna call it. Sit here with some of this stuff and try to get a little more meditating in as the full moon energies peak. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And so I appreciate you coming. Whoever watches it, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming. Oh wow. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I didn't know it showed all that shit. Right on. Right the fuck on. Thank you for joining. I see some people that joined, and if this is your first time watching me, I hope I didn't disappoint you or turn you off. I hope it was something that you can relate to. Yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna have a ball tomorrow. So enjoy the full moon energies. You're up this late. I know PJ, you still work. Maybe on your way home. It's gonna be 6 o'clock. So it'll be 7 o'clock your time. The energies be peaking. So if you want to close your eyes and get a little bit of a burden off, I guess, whatever it could be for you. Those of you that is coming in at 7 and you'll still be up, that it can do something like that. If you need a little burden taken off of you, yeah. Tomorrow, if I see the creator, I will do a thing about the creator tomorrow. We got to talk soon. Something's happened in the shadow show. I was in and out. Okay, yeah, call me anytime. You can call me. You know how to get with me. Just give me a call. Oh, you hear that thunder? Yeah, just give me a call. Yeah. And so anyone else? Right now, the energies are pretty high. So if you want to get them right now, they're still pretty high, and so you got plenty of time. So thank you. I'm gonna stand up, probably go pee, go get me a drink of water, and yeah. So till we meet again, definitely say less. I can't do no more. Gotta get a piece of mind. Sometimes oh, that's all I heard in my head while I was laying down last night. Just her voice does it to me. Ooh. Oh, I can listen to that all the time, every time, all day. Ooh.
Hey, where are the white women at?
And this is my main point out of everything.
I'm trying to told you just what heard me, man.
I was trying to told you.
I'm trying to told you just what heard me, man.
I was trying to told you.
I'm trying to told you just what heard me, man.
See, I was trying to told you, but you didn't hear me. I was trying to told you.
I'm trying to told you just what heard me, man.
I was trying to told you.
I'm trying to told you just what heard me, man.
I was trying to told you. So remember that when you think about me, remember I was trying to told you. I think that's how it goes.
I'm trying to told you just what heard me, man.
I was trying to told you. Oh,
It's cool enough just being cool, like I am.
Just cooling out, being cool like I am. That's definitely right.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it. Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
What?
Plus, I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
Damn.
Say anyway.
Joe Visa. He looked down, seen the feet, the nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Now he's the polar bear with little tiny feet. You can go to the zoo and see him. He's the polar bear with little tiny feet. Oh, let's hit some Jimmy. Oh, giving you them Jimi Hendrix vibes. Oh, that Jimi Hendrix is the bomb.
Up yours, nigger.
What? Where did that come from? Who said that?
Up yours, nigger.
What? I am outraged. I am outraged. But let me give you some high vibrations. Oh, that is so good.
me. Dance with me.
Oh, that is so good. Oh, how, oh, to hum a note. To hum a note. Do you dig what I'm giving you? He's humming the note. Everybody can't do that. Everybody can't do that. That's why I play, because everybody can't do it. It is, oh, I got to give it out. The Kundalini gets to going. What'd you say, Ron Banks?
Hey, dance with me.
Ah, hit you in my protons, baby. Oh, I love the sounds. I love. Oh, let's hear it. Ooh. 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 This is one of the baddest dudes I've seen live is him. This dude is bad. This is all computer. Oh, and I've seen him do it live. Ain't too many people I saw better than him, but I tell you, I don't mean to be wrong. I don't mean to be out of line. I don't mean to be wrong. I don't mean to be out of line.
What's all that noise? Oh, that's his dad.
That's